Start today to reclaim your health with the Feel Great Protocol.
We're doing an intro. The Table of Titans intro? It's going for me, dude. I don't know what you're talking for.
The homelessness problem continues to worsen in California.
Gas prices in the state have reached a record high.
Another local favorite has closed down in Santa Monica.
Things have just gotten so expensive. I don't know if we can continue living here. We just want someone, anyone, to hear us.
Okay, we've got to figure out this governor thing. I'd do it forever, but it's my turn to be president. Bring in the machine.
The Democratic nominee is Javier Becerra.
Huh? The Biden guy who lost all those kids?
Can't be right. Run it again.
Becerra.
Becerra, welcome. The machine picked you.
The machine?
Thing we created to make sure nothing ever changes. As long as you submit to the machine, you don't have to do anything.
Nothing? I can do that.
I believe all the things that Newsom believed. 4 more years. 4 more years.
So, what do you think? It went well?
That was worse than...
Who else is tired of the highest taxes in the country? The highest gas prices in the country? The worst homelessness in the country? This is our state, not the machines. That's what we're fighting for.
Your taxes are going up. Do not resist.
Nobody's ever stood up to the machine before.
It's time to take California back.
Can we get Swalwell back? Run it again.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Table of Titans. It is Thursday again. It's good to see everybody in here. And today we've got infiltration, not invasion, like we heard back in the drops. And it seems like the Democratic Party's in a little bit of a big, giant Grand Canyon split. They don't know what side to be on. Actually, we have the regular Democrats out there that haven't moved, but the political winds have moved, and the progressive Democrats seem to be taking over. You know, like all the ones trained down in Cuba and all those things. Yeah, with that whole thing about Cuba drop. The only thing I couldn't connect was Justin Trudeau's mom. Karen Bass, the rest of them, they're all in that report, dude. It's absolutely crazy, some of the stuff that had come out of there. We also got coming up here some changes in Venezuela. We've got also answers for some drug cartel members that made a little trip over here to the United States. They said they didn't get any help. We got so much to cover here. It's going to get interesting, folks. I got a full crew with Space Shot and Tron. What is going on, sir?
What's up, guys? Again, America will never be a communist country. Promises made, promises kept. And this is important, especially on America 250. And you know, this is better dead than red. Back in the day, people commies and making commies great again. Call it the enemy, infiltration instead of invasion. Ever since back in the day, 1940-ish, World War II, how many of those Nazi scientists came over? And now we got to reinvent America, charging hard. I absolutely love it. And boss, last week, again, identifying the election through foreign interference there in 2020. So everything's on the table. This is happening while New Jersey's getting exposure, Minnesota, and of course, always California with that voter fraud. And I'll tell you what, man, this is what we need. This is that steamroll up until November. Cannot wait. Loving it. Hit that thumbs up. Let's have a great show. Welcome to the boom, baby. Let's go.
Space Shot, can we set it on fire yet?
Boom, baby. Boom, baby. We're heading in some sort of direction. I would call this the exposure phase, which I'm very much enjoying. And yeah, there was a lot of good reading in that Cuba report, dude. Karen Bass, and I wasn't too familiar with the other guy, you maybe, because it's kind of your area, Villa. I don't even know how you say his last name, Villa Garoso or something like that. But even Karen Bass is part of this network, and it was nice how they started us, back in the 50s. Villa Ragosa. Say that 3 times fast. So they did that. You want to try it?
I'm just going to make a quick note because I had a friend of mine back about 5-10 years ago that worked in city government, and he would deal with these type of people. And he told me that guy is a full-on LA gangster. You take off his shirt, he is fully sleeved in gang tattoos.
I wouldn't doubt it, dude. I mean, we see some of the past of, Cory Bush's husband did 10 years, but now he's running the public safety thing from I think Boston. So, yeah, hey, they turn over a new leaf, and now they're good people all of a sudden. Wink, wink. But yeah, lots of craziness out there. We got lots of stuff to discuss, and always a big hat tip to Country and the folks over there at Liberty Based News, running the simulcast with us for these last many years, and also a big hat tip to all the mods out there. We do greatly appreciate your help, so thank you for that. And back to you, Mr. Hulkinator.
Yeah, it just reminded me of a story that I didn't collect, but there's a story, I can't remember which Congress lady. There's a black Congress lady whose husband owns a home, and they found a dead body in the front yard underneath the big giant concrete plaque. So they're asking questions of why that's there. So I'll get back to that on Saturday. Just crazy stuff all over the place. It all seems to be falling apart out there. What do you think the highlights of the week are? Anybody got a highlight reel for me before we get into stories? Tell me what you think.
Well, obviously, President Trump's speech was I don't know if that's considered last week or whatever, but that speech mixed in with the Cuba report are definitely my 2 top favorites.
And Maduro. I can't forget Maduro on a Monday. I mean, that came out of nowhere. We were even talking about, we forgot about Maduro singing like a canary. And then boss mentions Venezuelans somewhat meddling in the election, along with China, and who knows who else is going to come out of that report as they drop a whole treasure trove of information. And again, I love the way this administration gives us the sauce. I mean, yeah, heavily redacted, I get it, but they're giving us the tools to actually go through, look through it, and sort of figure it out. And most importantly, this is, like you said, setting the stage for how long the house of cards have to come down. But again, back to our elections, we have to have safe, honest elections. And they've been corrupt forever, man. We talked about this several times, even to the point where they have to show us how they cheat. Again, it's getting almost so obvious where it doesn't matter if you're left or right. This is the fabric of our nation. We can't have it. Third world countries vote, harder than we do, and they get better results. So again, if they can do it in Venezuela and other places, there's corruption everywhere. So that was a big one. That's a big one because everyone else is waiting for that call. This is panic, dude. This is panic in DC. This is panic international. Everyone's a target, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. And that's what they're doing now. And people are scattering all over the place. And they're not sure exactly where to land itself. And, I kind of wanted to kick off the Cuba story, to be honest with you. And this is a 4-minute deal about Newsmax here. Do you think that they're going to mention anything with Weather Underground in this report? Even though they're in that 100-page report, and Karen Bass and blowing up the Senate and the White House, all back in the early 70s you guys all talked about? Yep, that's all in that report itself. Do you think the general public going to tell us this? Or, at least OANN, or Newsmax, I should say? What do you think?
You would
think
they should.
Yeah, right?
Let's see how close we get to what they're going to actually tell us, because I wouldn't got the highlights on there.
We begin this hour with Cuba. The State Department issuing a stunning new report accusing the Cuban government of fostering a decades-long anti-American network of left-wing activist organizations in the U.S. The report indicating Havana's been using ideological networks and organizations to advance its agenda and undermine American ideals.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio calling the regime, quote, the leading sponsor of radical leftism and third worldism in the United States. More on that in just a moment. Good morning and welcome to a brand new hour of National Report. We appreciate you spending part of your day with us.
Come on.
I'm Edie Hill.
And
I'm Krisha Lenzo. And let's take a look at some of the left-wing organizations implicated in this Cuban influence campaign. All of them American groups. Here they are: Code Pink, ICAP, the People's Forum, Democrat Socialists of America, the National Lawyers Guild, and the National Network on Cuba. The report comes as the Trump administration has shown heightened interest in toppling the communist regime.
Let's get right to senior correspondent John Huddy. He has more on this. John, good morning.
Edie, Krisha, good morning. So the State Department report is titled Cuba, the capital of 21st century communism. It's 100 pages long and really lays out Cuba's 7 decades of subversion against the United States, including covert operations within the U.S. carried out by Cuban agents, sleeper agents, associates, along with working as a, quote, forward operating base for a rotating case of hostile foreign powers, notably Russia, China, and Iran. But the report also focuses in on the National Network on Cuba and what's called its National Rapid Response Plan. So the National Network on Cuba, you guys just talked about this, is a coalition of more than 60 organizations in the U.S. with links to the Cuban government. Members, as you mentioned, include Code Pink, the Socialist Workers' Party, Democratic Socialists of America, various communist groups. I mean, the list goes on and on. You can see some of it right there. The National Rapid Response Plan calls for, quote, coordinated nationwide actions within 24 hours of a U.S. military attack or the imminent threat of one. So that could mean protests, riots, or, according to the State Department report, acts of domestic terrorism targeting ICE facilities, federal buildings, and U.S. military bases. As the group's own website reads, it says the National Network on Cuba stands in full solidarity and support of Raul Castro, hero of the Republic of Cuba. We will continue to support the Cuban people and their defense of the Cuban Revolution and fight to stop all escalation against Cuba's sovereignty. And then it goes on to say, long live the revolution. Now, this would not be the first time that Cuba has been involved with potentially or trying to influence domestic terrorism in the United States carried out by radical leftist groups. It happened back in the 70s with the so-called Weather Underground. Cuban regime officials recruited members of that group, you see some of the wanted poster for them there, to carry out attacks in the United States, which they did. Now, Secretary of State Marco Rubio posted a link to the State Department report on X, and then going on to write, for more than 6 decades, the Cuban regime has been the leading sponsor of radical leftism and third worldism.
All right, I can't take it anymore on those reports itself, but the details into some of them, they're talking about how obviously they took money from the USAID and funneled it back around into these groups. By the way, Code Pink in the front over there, I think they're owned by an elite group, husband and wife. I think they're actors. I can't remember off the top of my head. They got in an indictment knock just recently. And if everybody remembers Code Pink and over there at the president's dinner over there in D.C., these people showed up. So, yeah, they've got the knock already, including the Democrat Socialists of America. They're starting to ask questions into those societies themselves. Those are just the 2 that I've seen so far that they're starting to rear their head and take a look at it. Yeah, you're right. Bill Ayers, Eric Horn, all that. It's just an evolution that's turning it into a progressive movement, and these people are brainwashed. Comments so far, anybody?
Well, yeah, that's how the Dems recruit. They love this kind of stuff. And again, international. Imagine, I mean, man, dude, this is essentially an act of war when you're using our funds there for future communists. And Code Pink is interesting because we just had it today in the afternoon that boss mentioned Pinky Herman instead of Pee Wee. He says Pinky. So there's a little shout out there. But again, we've been waiting for this Cuba thing to kick off forever. But it goes to show you how much our funds go overseas. And this is why America, in most parts of our country, we're waiting for that hero like Donald Trump to come save the state. Is going down to those local levels. And dude, the amount of money is stolen all different kinds of ways. And now we're finding out more about this. And again, future proofs past, Weather Underground back in the day, and now still activated under different names, just swapping the logos out a little bit.
Yeah, little rules for radicals there, Mr. Space Shot.
Hey, I mean, you can form yourself a nice little terrorist group and organization, and then later become, professor at, University of Chicago, and then I forgot what Dorn ended up doing, but yeah, these people all essentially they get to flip a switch, and it's like, oh no, we weren't these big nasty terrorists, back then. We're good people. I mean, this is just horrendous. But the most apparent
who got the presidential pardon for under Clinton? I can't remember which one.
Susan Rosenberg, the one that bombed Congress. I think that was her name, Rosenberg. Yeah, she actually lit off a bomb in Congress, and so yeah, why don't we pardon somebody like that? But these connections go so far back, and then I think about all of the things with President Trump and Obama's birth certificate, right? Like knowing that he was put into one of these pages, page 46, and then he was kind of outed a little bit there. And I think back to like all that hoopla that President Trump went through with the birth certificate, and I'm like, I don't think that was for nothing. I think we might be going somewhere with that eventually, hopefully.
Hopefully. Here's the highlights there, Mr. Space Shot. Would you like to read some?
Blatantly. Top 10 most important things from the report ranked by how central they are to its argument. Cuba's war, number one, Cuba's war on America was never about economics or territory. It's a revolution against Western civilization itself by turning our own kids against their heritage. 2, Havana's been the ideological capital of the modern radical left since the 60s. Shaping everything from the Black Panthers, and we can go into that one at length as well, and the Weather Underground to Antifa and the George Floyd riots. 3, the Venceremos Brigade has funneled thousands of American activists to Cuba since 1969 for political indoctrination and intelligence recruitment. 4, Cuban intelligence ran one of the most successful long-term penetrations in U.S. history, with assets like Victor Manuel Rocha at State and National Security Council, and Ana Belén Montes at the DIA, Defense Intelligence Agency. 5, Cuba trained at least 20,000 Latin American guerrillas and provided safe harbor to 77 American felony fugitives by 1998, including Assata Shakur and Black Panther leaders. 6, the 1966 Tricontinental Conference in Havana united over 500 delegates from 82 countries to coordinate global anti-American revolution. Front groups like the Democrat Socialist of America, National Lawyers Guild, Code Pink, and the National Network on Cuba serve as Havana's operational arms inside of the U.S. 8, Cuba backed Puerto Rico terrorists, or Puerto Rican terrorists, like FALN and macheteros with training for bombings and assassinations on American soil. 9, the regime hosts Chinese and Russian signals intelligence facilities and serves as the connective tissue linking Moscow, Beijing, Tehran, and U.S. radical movements. 10, Fidel Castro's own 1958 letter laid it out. The real war against America would begin after the revolution in Cuba. Very big. I don't know. I would move a little bit of those around a little bit. I would probably move the one there with what was the one with Miss Montes, the 2 spies there? That was very big because they were in the DIA, and there's a picture of her getting a friggin' award from, I think it's George Tenet, the ex-CIA director. Yeah, she's gotten awards, bro. So I would put her closer to the 9 or 10 thing, but they do train these militants, and even people in our own government go down there and visit, for beautiful Havana to see, what they're going to be pushing when they come back here. And it is sad to see the fact that the people just can't see, that's what I've been trying to key on for the last couple of days, is like the same thing President Trump is saying now. All of these idiots were saying the same thing 8 or 10 years ago. Like everything. We need to clean the border. We need to get rid of the illegals. Elections need to be safe. These are all not like revolutionary thoughts here. These are thoughts that all of these politicians have had for years. But now that President Trump is doing it, it's like, oh, no kings. We don't want any kings here. I don't know what this guy's trying to do. It's like, I'm over here like shaking my head and scratching my temple like, somebody wake me up from this dream, because people can't be that stupid, can they? Yes, unfortunately, they can be.
Yeah. Okay, since you said it, we're going to play the stupid clip right now. Where's the guy? I got it right here. This is proving right now that people are dumb. Here we go.
First of all, I don't think everybody should be allowed to vote anyway. I can tell you the moment I came to this conclusion.
Okay.
I was at a Verizon. I was getting a new phone, and it was me, some other dude in a dirty high-vis shirt that clearly just got off of work. It's like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm getting my photos and stuff transferred onto my new phone. And it's like, I got the Verizon guy helping me, Verizon guy helping him, and a third Verizon guy just kind of standing there, and we're all chatting while things are getting done. And this 60-year-old woman comes storming in Verizon with a fucking attitude. She's holding a surge protector, like the power strip with like 7 plugins on it. She's holding that and a fucking phone charger in her hand. And she walks up and is like, you sold me this yesterday and it doesn't work. I'm watching. Like, I'm engaged now. And the Verizon guy's like, what do you mean it doesn't work? Like it won't charge your phone? And she goes, no, I can't even plug it in. And you know how the fucking phone chargers now, the prongs fold in because some asshole stepped on it one time, so now they have to fold in so you don't step on them. She grabs it with the prongs folded in and just smacks the two pieces together like a fucking caveman that doesn't know how fire works, and looks at him and goes, see? And he folds the prongs out and plugs it in. And then she realizes that she's a fucking moron and goes, thanks, and walks out. So yes, not everybody should be allowed to vote. It was a fucking 2-piece puzzle with one moving part.
See, I'm just saying, there's people out there that vote for this stuff, and you're wondering, how can people with purple hair get sucked up into these crazy ideas? Example number 1.
I'm blaming it on the stuff they put in our food. I'm going with the food and the vaccines.
And the purple
on that
hair.
one.
That stuff goes. Yeah, it goes right to the brain, the food. I mean, it's getting worse and worse. But man, probably happens a few times. I mean, good thing I don't work in the civilian world anymore. I mean, Hulk, you didn't have to work with people. I don't know about Space Shop, but yeah, just the average people out there are just not with it. Either it's stress or it's woke Democrat socialism.
Oh, dude.
I did work with the public a lot, and I had to gauge incompetence a lot of times. A lot.
Dude, I service advisor at Audi 27 years ago or so. Lady just left her service, comes back in, and car left perfect. She's all screaming, oh my God, my car's running like crap. I just did a service. My buddy Leroy is my mechanic to this day, comes back with the biggest shit-eating grin you ever seen. He goes, stupid bitch put friggin' diesel in her car. I'm like, he goes, how the frick she even get the thing in there? How'd she even get that in there? But dude, Hulk, remember we played... We played like a month ago or so. Remember the skit? And I don't even think it was a skit because the guy was either a really good actor or he was genuinely, bamboozled. The guy was at a dinner table with the three other guys with him, and he left. And they texted him that he left his phone. And then he's standing in front of them like going, okay, well, where's my phone then? And they're like, yeah, we just texted you. Your phone's missing. And he's like, yeah, and? And I'm like, no, there's no way
How
this
did
dude
you
doesn't get
read
it.
that message on my phone?
And he's going back and forth with them.
And you're here to look for your phone? Okay. They ran that around a couple of times. Let's get back into show stuff. Get back over to the front. I just had to show you out there over here. So now back into our Cuba stuff over there. We just got the top 10. Let's get the news in here for a quick minute with CNN.
Choosing to campaign with Hassan Piker, who said America deserved September 11. Sure, he went on to disavow those comments, but I'm telling you, nobody on my team would ever, come even close to making a comment like that.
So will you not back him if he wins the primary? Will you not support him?
Jake, I think that it's really important to make a clear distance from yourself and these comments, and that's exactly what I've been doing, in this race. I will not even come close to being associated with comments like America deserved September 11.
Well, Dr. Syed would say, well, I didn't say that, and I don't think that Hassan Piker said it, and I don't agree with everything everybody I campaign with says.
But here's the critical point on that, Jake, is that he might say that, right? And sure, I give him credit for disavowing it after the fact. But the reality is he also didn't have to choose to campaign with Hassan Piker. To me, that's a non-starter. Saying something like America deserved September 11.
Yeah. So it's not turning out very well for him. It sold for a little bit, but the regular Democrats are really starting to panic of what's happening here, especially what's going to happen in these midterm elections. It's going to get nasty, folks.
Dude, it's pretty ridiculous when John Fetterman is the voice of reason in the Democrat Party.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right there. Just as we talk about some of the communist regimes around the world out there, and we're going to do a quick update with them, we'd like to remind everybody that Nicaragua's President Daniel Ortega basically said, we're not going to hold elections anymore. Yeah, no, we're going to throw all that stuff in the trash, and I'm just going to be kingmaker for the rest of the time out here, and I will go ahead and appoint whoever I want to take after me. That's his whole idea. It's all in Spanish, so I'm not going to play it. But they basically said, we're not going to hold any more elections. So there's Nicaragua's president obviously lighting off.
Technically, once we get our elections cleaned up, Boss even kind of hinted, we're going to have Republican presidents from now on. Once we have that formula in fruition working and all the, grease on the gears are moving, this is what it's going to be. So Daniel Ortega might be the Ingersoll Lockwood last president, as we joke that Boss over here on Fifth Avenue. But it's building up, man. It's building up to never allow the enemy in. And we have a lot of examples from history, though. That's the good point.
That is the good point. What else do we got over here on this side? Oh, yeah, might as well play a little bit of this.
So the former Venezuelan leader, Nicolas Maduro, and his wife are due in a Manhattan courtroom for a status hearing within this hour. Now, he faces 4 criminal counts, including for narco-terrorism conspiracy, after U.S. forces grabbed him from Caracas in a raid in early January. Brian Yenis outside the courthouse with more. And Brian, good morning to you there.
Bill, good morning. At today's noon hearing, we expect the judge to lay out the next steps in this high-profile case. According to new court documents, both sides are proposing a June 2027 start date for this trial against former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and the former First Lady, his wife, Celia Flores. Early this morning, Maduro and Flores were believed to be moved in this motorcade from the federal prison in Brooklyn to the federal courthouse here in Manhattan. Maduro and Flores face federal cocaine trafficking and weapons charges. Maduro also faces a narco-terrorism charge. If convicted, they face up to life in prison. Prosecutors allege that for 25 years, Maduro ran Venezuela like a drug trafficking organization, transporting thousands of tons of cocaine as leader of the cartel de los Soles. The defense indicates it plans to file motions to get this case thrown out. First, by claiming that Maduro can't be charged because he has immunity as a head of state. Secondly, by arguing the U.S. military raid that brought Maduro to the U.S. was illegal. On January 3rd, President Trump ordered those U.S. special forces to capture Maduro and his wife in the presidential palace in Caracas. Maduro has called himself a, quote, kidnapped president and a prisoner of war. The Trump administration argues Maduro was an illegitimate president. Here's then Attorney General Pam Bondi arguing that the raid was legal.
This was well within the president's Article 2 powers. It was a...
I can't listen to her. I'm going to skip past the very last part of there. So there's an update check on him. I didn't hear anything new about what they were going to actually come out with. The only thing that I saw was the announcement, but I haven't seen anything in the court records or any information come out after that, which I find kind of interesting. Normally they start reporting all over it. Oh, they're going to do this and that. And so it seems to be under wraps here at this point, or I should say sealed.
It's funny that they throw in like the cocaine charges and all that stuff. But again, Sidney Powell back in the day, 2020 election, Smartmatic technology. And then the timing of all this. I mean, even during the raid, Boss, a while ago, Boss was talking about election fraud. And now here it is right after, DJT comes out on the Thursday night addressing the nation. So timing. And this is just one country. And we're going to have more from China as well as President Xi enters, I think, in September. So it's going to be interesting. Good guys. And remember how that went down. Real clean and swift. You're not allowed to arrest him. I can't believe it. And then here's Mondami. Oh, we have to arrest Bibi. So a lot of actors and certain characters are coming to the stage and sort of playing that role. So arrests are in the narrative for seeding. And hopefully soon we're going to get that action back here. Because, if these leaders, pretty much colluded with our own, then, and we have all the text messages, all that information. So it has to go that way. This is the buildup and inevitable. It has to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because a lot of the D-class that we saw come out about election stuff did talk about Smartmatic and Venezuela, and, two employees for the FBI talking about how Maduro runs his elections and how they can change the voting things, and just a casual email like they're talking about exchanging a brownie recipe, which I find quite interesting out there. And of course, we also found out there that the Microsoft CEO who worked for the FBI was running a shadow government behind everybody and decided not to tell anybody about, China had this huge giant hack, and it's pretty damn bad. And they hacked the back end of all the major big Fortune 500 companies and inserted software in behind there so we could flood the market with what we wanted to do. And they got caught, but it was well after the election. So that's absolutely crazy that they decided not to tell the president, we do have some here. There is evidence here.
Well, they definitely kept it quiet. And I guess this was, I'm looking this up as we go. It was a status hearing. It says the judge checks on discovery progress, any motions that are filed, and whether a plea talks are happening. Next comes the status conference every few months, then pretrial, and then a June 2027. But kind of a little bit what you're both talking about is what's coming up. It's coming up for election talk, right? I think we want to know about the elections with what they're doing there. And I'll just remind folks, we did have a long ago June ETA. People were asking, when are we going to get information about Seth Rich and the elections? And it did say June ETA. So are we talking a 9-year delta here? June ETA?
Well, the deltas aren't going backwards. That's the only problem. They only go up.
Yeah. Only go up. What else do we got here? Oh, look at that, Mr. Space Yacht. You can read both of those. You can start up at the top.
Who's this Justin guy? I keep seeing him all the time. Sinaloa cartel co-founder Ishmael El-Mayo, mayonnaise, Zambada, sentenced to life in U.S. prison in order to forfeit $15 billion. Yeah. Full details on his life sentence and the family that brought him down. Sinaloa cartel co-founder Ishmael El-Mayo Zambada.
Wait, hold on.
Whoa.
I just want to remind everybody, remember the family members came over on a plane and they met with the FBI and all that? Okay, go ahead.
Somebody's talking. All right, 76. Sentenced on July 20th of this year to, quote, life in prison without parole by U.S. District Judge Brian M. Cogan in Brooklyn Federal Court. He was also ordered to forfeit $15 billion in drug trafficking profits. Zambada pleaded guilty in August of 25 to leading a continuing criminal enterprise and RICO charges. Well, let's not forget to get back to there. After nearly 40 years running the cartel he co-founded with Joaquin El Chapo Guzman in the late 1980s. Under his leadership, the group flooded the U.S. with tons of fentanyl, cocaine, meth, and heroin while using murder, intimidation, and widespread bribery of Mexican officials. How was he caught? The family that, quote, came over on July 25th of 24, El Mayo was lured onto a private plane by Joaquin Guzman Lopez, one of El Chapo's sons and a leader of the Los Chapitos faction. Guzman Lopez told him they were going to look at real estate in northern Mexico. Instead, Mayonnaise was restrained and reportedly sedated, flown across the border, and both men were arrested upon landing near El Paso, Texas. Joaquin Guzman Lopez had been negotiating his own surrender with U.S. authorities and delivered El Mayo as the ultimate bargaining chip. He has been in U.S. custody since that day, pleaded guilty on December of 25 to drug trafficking and continuing criminal enterprise charges, and admitted orchestrating the abduction. His sentence is still pending. His brother, Ovidio, is also in U.S. custody. 2 other Chapitos brothers remain fugitives. El Mayo's own family. Several of his sons were previously arrested and extradited to the U.S. years earlier. Some cooperated and received reduced sentences. One son, Ismael Maito Flaco, is believed to be leading parts of his faction in Mexico. Prosecutors noted at sentencing that family members remain loyal and active. In court, El Mayo accepted full responsibility and said he refused to deny the truth. called for an end to the violence and urged the next generation to choose a different path because crime only brings pain and loss. Both original Sinaloa co-founders are now serving life sentences in Estados Unidos. Love it.
That's interesting. Remember El Chapo, when he was arrested, they rioted in the whole city, and then the son got arrested like years later. They did the same thing, started burning down Tijuana and Mexico and whatnot there. So, yeah, families have some political power out there, and El Chapo was the first one that was taken. Then the son was extradited, and then they rolled over on the other people and got all them all at the same time and got them to kidnap the dude and stick him with some drugs, put him on a plane and fly him to Texas. Because remember, everybody remembers that thing. After that thing came out, the family lawyer said, there's nobody in the family that is working with the U.S. government here. We are just here on whatever, blah, 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 and we're being arrested for immigration. But we're not working. We're not cooperating witnesses.
And then 3 weeks later, he basically copped a plea deal. That was awesome. I think it was roughly that period of time. But essentially, he came over and visited and was like, no, we're definitely not working with you guys. I swear. But dude, that's like a movie friggin' scene there, right? Like, oh yeah, we're gonna go take a look at some real estate. Oh hey, look out the window. Look at that mountain right there. Needle in the side of the neck. Go to sleep.
This is all with the assistance of the U.S. government, guys.
That's crazy. And then interesting that he pleaded guilty also to RICO charges. So I wonder how big that particular RICO right there that we're talking about, this particular RICO right here, like, does that go outside of this, or they got other RICOs going? How many RICOs we got going? I mean, we are talking.
Yeah, Venezuela is still rolling. And the big thing is I didn't see any plea deals. The U.S. government, we're going to give him a plea deal. F that. That didn't happen. So those are good things.
Maybe the deal is they get to keep their life. Hey, you get to spend the rest of your life in jail, but you'll be alive.
Yeah, the jails are nice. Put you in a nice fed prison.
It's much nicer.
You can play tennis.
You like pickleball? That's been big lately.
So in light of all this stuff out there we had talked about with all the hacking and whatnot, President Trump has made it clear that his administration will take action to counter cybercrime, fraud, predatory crimes against Americans. Today, I'm announcing a new policy that will restrict visas to foreign nationals responsible for or complicit in cybercrime-enabled crimes, and have devastated American families and children. So that's probably all of the Indians call centers, the scam ones that are out there. All of them are not coming back over because they have records of all those guys over there. So it's interesting that this is coming out. Obviously, if China is trying to infiltrate America, do the same thing. All these people are going to be put on that particular list itself. So these are good things and good policies that they're putting in there as we come up for an election. That's where I see this.
Oh yes, Clarence, he's laying down the policy there, and we've been taken advantage of so badly in this country, and it's good high time that they're actually taking care of it. And the funny thing is, one of these resistors, they're like, oh well, you guys are so so many problems with the immigrants, like they have any effect on our country? He goes, they don't affect you. And I'm like, really? Like, you don't think the hundreds of millions and billions of dollars that these people are getting for free housing, free food, nothing to do with inflation or anything like that, or the price of housing, rentals? You don't think it has anything to do with that?
Oh, I got a number for you. I did go and take a look at that. So under the Biden administration, in the 4-year period for the illegal immigrants coming into America and using whatever's here, they raised housing costs by 30% by the end of the 4 years that they were here. That's why rents went up.
Imagine the 16-year plan all the way completed. There's no more America. I mean, Donald Trump, a speed bump, and now here we are with that final chance to put an end to it. But that's a lot. I mean, look at the welfare system too. I mean, those numbers are outrageous as well. Completely draining our funding of our system of people that actually need it. And this was the Democratic plan the whole time. This is the commie plan. This is the enemy, and they're here. But thank goodness we have a DJT. We got to stop it before it gets even more out of hand. Wow.
Yeah, it's going to get a little bit worse, I think, to be honest with you out here. Just want to throw this one out there. Remembers this guy, the Tim Walz, wanted me to kill Amy Klobuchar and the whole weird thing they were running into with Tim Walz. And remember that whole story we talked about there?
Oh, yeah.
Where he worked alone? And supposedly he wasn't ordered by Tim Walz whatsoever. There is no connection, even though there's a paper trail and some text messages and talking with the right people in the government. But no. There's no connection to him whatsoever. So yeah, you want to read up there at the top?
I remember that stupid mask. There's this guy Justin again. Tim Walz appointee Vance Bolter has been sentenced to 2 life sentences plus 40 years for the murder of Minnesota House Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman. Bolter's vehicle was found with, quote, "no Kings" flyers on the seat and killed Hortman and her husband soon after she voted against health care for illegals. Will Walz pardon this guy too? I mean, probably
that's right.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, here, give the breakdown of it right there.
Yeah, and by the way, that video right there that it was above there, she was like petrified, and I think she knew she had a target on her back. Vance Bolter.
Exactly.
Vance Bolter sentenced today to 2 life sentences plus 40 years, no parole, for the June 14, 25 murders of Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, plus the shootings of Senator John Hoffman and his wife. Bolter impersonated a police officer, acted alone after months of planning, and had a list of 70 mostly Democrat targets, plus no Kings protest flyers in his vehicle. Previously served on a large bipartisan state workforce board appointed by Dayton, reappointed by Walz. Term ended in 23. Federal plea deal avoided the death penalty. State murder charges still pending. Political violence has no place in America. I mean, it's our history.
It don't smell right to me over there on that side that this landed this way. Kind of reminds me of what happened in California with Gavin Newsom and all those people over there. They try to cover this up. I don't think this is the end of this, because you got to remember when you take these people out, this is a part of an investigation. They were looking into fraud in the state itself. And then I find that the cop is the one that took all the important people out, because if you're going to start an investigation, you're definitely going to need the Speaker of the House and then some senators to endorse your criminal endorsement to the local DOJ. See how they wrapped that all up?
Yep, very slick.
Nice little bow. Nobody pay attention. Move along, folks.
Keep the train
That's how
moving.
I see this.
I'll tell you what, she had some serious cojones to do what she did, because she was damn near in tears during that little speech.
Yeah, so I just wanted to, kind of show you this. This is kind of the result that we're getting out of this radical left who says they don't do violence. That's a pretty damn organized piece of violence there, and to make sure that you're not going to be indicted on federal charges. I personally would go that far if I was governor themselves. I mean, just look how far Gavin Newsom has gone and stuff he's done in his state. So, yeah, I totally get why they went this far. And, of course, they all covered it up. So, I don't know where it's going to land. So that's that one for you guys. Other side of this, obviously Congress has got to get on the Cuban bandwagon over here. So they got their own little poster child that they're going to push forward and talk about the rude awakening. But then again, they're speaking to the progressive left over here that are starting to take over Congress, because we've seen what happened over in New York with Mandami, and they got the 3 DSA members in there, and we're losing some prominent Democrat in the middle type of guys. I'm not a fan of any one of them, but putting one of these crazies over there from New York into Congress is just radicalizing the whole thing. So again, let's see what they have to say.
I don't care what they call themselves, but when you're taking pages out of the playbook of Karl Marx, pushing for abolishing private property rights and seizing the means of production, or Hugo Chavez impacting the Supreme Court, that's what you're going to get. So they can call themselves Democrat socialists, but the reality is that the Communist Caucus, the Commie Caucus, is coming to Congress. And it's going to be a rude awakening if we don't all pay attention. And that includes the press. Think about what's happened in those countries where they've had socialism and communism. The press is the first one to go. When they finally consolidate that power, the media is the first one to go, and it is a state-run media. So it's incumbent upon all of us to get the truth out there about the threats that we are facing as a country with these radical people that want to bring this horrific ideology here.
Hence the Q operation is, how do you break outside the box themselves? You got to feed them a different information from outside this controlled system. And I think that's a big part of why that system came up, because there was no action, no organization our side whatsoever. We all went to work. We didn't protest.
Whoa.
Right? You good?
No, yeah, that's true. My phone's starting to make noises by itself too. But no, I mean, you show me one place where the communism stuff has worked, right? Show me a better model.
Mao? No. Stalin? No. What's the dude in Italy? Mussolini? Yeah, Cambodia.
Pol Pot.
How about Venezuela? I mean, yeah, come on. I haven't seen anyone, because I saw this interesting video where this guy was asking the lefties about which socialist program would you want, and like 90% of them, they're like, "What do you mean?" Well, if you're going to pick a socialist system, which one would you pick? They're like, socialism. No. We're talking Mao socialism. Oh, what are you talking? Went through the entire list of everybody. Which one did you want to pick? And they didn't have an answer. They never thought that far.
Well, and they're trying to trick. This is generational. So the commies back then, same ideology, just like what we just saw there in that video. And they're trying to fool this generation to thinking it's new, it's hip, this is how it's supposed to be done. You get free stuff, the government helps you, blah, blah, blah. And this generation is struggling. They're not leaving their homes at 18 years anymore. They're not getting married. Forget about having kids. So this is a huge step to put that final nail in the coffin and make examples out of certain states in this nation, because it can't ever come back again. So this is excellent. And you can dress up the pig any way you want. It still rolls around in shit at the end of the day.
That was great. Quickly, everybody put how old were you when you moved out of your parents' house? I was 22. Just wondering. Just how responsible.
Well. Yep.
Yeah, I got that. F out.
I still didn't move out.
$800 a month for the apartment. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I was paying like $900 or something in California here. But again, even Alex Karp over with Palantir, he says the exact same thing talking about Mendami.
And I think the average, Ivy League grad voting for this mayor is highly annoyed that their education is not that valuable. And the person down the street who knows how to drill for oil and gas, who's moved to Texas, has a more valuable profession. And I think that annoys the fuck out of these people.
So as of today, I went and looked because somebody had posted a job for Meta over there. Meta needs a whole shitload of electricians. So they're offering an open call that if you have a young kid as of age above 18 that wants to become an electrician, they will ship you out to a campus and train you for 8 to 12 weeks with room and board, obviously no pocket money or anything like that, free education to learn how to be a electrician. And if you don't want to work for Meta after that, they give you your certificate, they wave you hi, and you don't even, or say goodbye and don't even charge you for the class and bring the next person in, because there are not enough electricians to build these systems that are there. I thought that was crazy.
You got to be 18, you said?
At least 18 or above. And you can go. So if you, I mean, the other thing is because they're going to open that XL pipeline that's coming back around. Trump's already reached out to that group over there that got shunned by the Biden system. So they're going to fire that thing back up and put production back into that. So they're looking for welders and a whole bunch of other people, like up in North Dakota. Like some of these welders, dude, like my buddy who lives up there, they said, like, put it this way, they have all the McMansions up there in these areas where the oil fields are because these people don't have any money to spend on. And he says the local car dealership, the Chevy dealership, doesn't have any stock trucks on it. It's all lifted tires and special rims and this and all the bells and whistles on it because that's what these guys are coming in buying. $120,000 trucks, no big deal. Why not? I make enough money. So it's some crazy stuff going along. Even when you said on the Saturday show that the Elon, I think it was Elon talking about that electrical contractors in Texas were poached 3 different times and are making $250,000 in the last 18 months.
Yeah, wow, Mike Rowe was saying that he heard that they were multiple time poached. So that's what I was telling my son. But it's like, he's 15, about to be 16 in November, and then I'm thinking, like, in the grand scheme of time, 2 years, from being 16 to 18, like, they still going to be needing all these electricians. How much will the world change by then? You know what I mean? So always trying to think a little bit ahead.
Yeah, I recommend anybody that's trying to AI proof their kid, welding, plumbing, electrical.
Yeah, you don't think the Optimus robot can figure that out? I mean, I don't know.
Not for maybe 15, 20 years. Maybe doing pre-production on those things, I'm saying yes, but you're not going to get an Optimus robot to crawl underneath some old lady's crawl space underneath the house and try to fix the the tank or the drain on the bottom of the tub. You're not going to have a robot do stuff like that. It's still going to be a human crawling around in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're gonna need to be able to move and do different things. I mean, dude, you never know. At some point, they might just get some flat sliding board with a friggin' wheels on it and with a bunch of tools. But like you said, I think that'll be
like NASCAR.
Some years. Well, actually, that was a funny video I watched, dude, the other day. It shows the pit stops change time from like then and now. It used to be like 10 seconds, and now they do it in like under a second. It's crazy, or close to a second, whatever it was.
They had NASA come down, and because it's an interesting story, just how they figured it out. They had NASA come down and watch them, and they said, "What's wrong? How come we can't get this thing to to do the system faster?" He's like, "Because you guys don't have a right system. You're stepping all over each other. Do it like this." And like the next week, the next race, all the other teams started to copy him because it was so much different. They're like, "Holy shit, what happened?"
10 seconds to 1.
Now I want to throw this back out again, guys. So here. What's CNN saying?
This phone has been blowing up all day. Governors from both parties, senators from both parties, Democrats in the House thanking me for saying what everybody's been saying behind the scenes, which is that this stuff is going too far. I am a progressive Democrat. You want to talk about prison reform? I've done it as well as anybody, Republican Democrats in the South with Trump. I've done prison reform. I never said have no prisons. Where are you going to put the Klan? I've done police reform. I never said no police. Where are you going to put the pedophiles? Who's going to grab the pedophiles? This stuff is going too far. And part of the thing that has to happen is we saw what happened in the Republican Party when things started going in a nutty direction and nobody stood up. I am happy that the young people are fighting for affordability, Medicare for all the good things. I've been waiting my whole life to see a youth movement do what it's doing. But it's being hijacked by people who are putting in nutty ideas supporting terrorists, nutty ideas saying that we don't need cops in prison. We can't deport anybody even if they rape somebody. Who said this? Chevalier. Where did Chevalier?
Chevalier is going to be is yes. The Democratic nominee. DSA nominee for Congress now from the Bronx.
Yeah.
See? Oh, that was the one lady, dude. So yeah. As they get radicalized over these people, take these particular spots. And probably the election was 100% legal, on how they got them into spot. It's just that there's enough these crazy people to enrage these leftists, and they're young enough and they want to go for it, see what's going to happen because they don't have a history to fall back on. Comments from chat.
Absolutely. Oh, we got lots of comments in chat. Absolutely.
Yeah, Let's throw what Scott Bassett said the other day over there.
Trump accounts are no government handout. They are a child's first claim upon the American dream at a time when too many people are taught to doubt it. Look around our campuses and classrooms today. Apart from those here at Wheeler, of course, you will find that our students are being sold the seductive lie that government can solve every problem, redistribute every dollar, and supplant its judgment for our own. Our children are taught to romanticize an ideology that results in ruin wherever it is tested, to critique capitalism for every one of its flaws, and to forgive socialism for every one of its constant failures. In New York, the current mayor rose to power by repackaging failed ideals of the past as a moral cause of the future. But in Georgia, you know that beneath that youthful veneer lies the oldest impulse in politics, which is to concentrate power and then call it compassion. Show me some place where this has ever worked. Moscow, Caracas, Havana. These workers' paradises have all ended up as deprivation hellscapes. So at their core, Trump accounts represent the triumph of capitalism over socialism. And now our answer to the next big free stuff, big government charlatan is to build an ownership economy for all Americans. For the 38% of households who do not have a stake in our great equity markets, our capital markets, and American innovation, this is your way to get a piece of the action thanks to President Trump.
I recommend anybody who has a child that is under the age 18 to sign up for one of these accounts. I don't know if Space Shot or Tron has. Yes. I did it for my kid. There won't be any donations into it. But
Tron accounts.
You have Tron accounts. You have different accounts.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's as long as you pick, because what these accounts do is they basically choose the top companies. It's a mutual fund, basically, and it's all about the compound interest. So, again, if you zoom out of the charts, no matter which chart it is through the stock market, it's gone up. Yes, there's been a little blips here and there. The stock market crash in 2008. Then we also had recently with Liberation Day and whatnot, a little dip, and also during pandemic. But compound interest, especially with these children at early ages, just exponentially. And your initial investment gets interest on top of the growth as it moves forward. So it's literally a win-win. And it's funny because that is free money. I mean, it grows with the market and exponentially always. So just zoom out. And, that initial investment will compound, exponentially. So great job. And this is a way for children to get a head start. Look at this generation. They're not even leaving housing until their parents' house until 28 years old, in the basement, 32. I mean, it's getting ridiculous. So this is a way to save a little bit. So when you get to that age to leave, you have a nice little nest egg there to start a family and buy a home that's affordable. So this is great.
Yeah, I don't know when that's coming around, but yeah. I've seen Florida drop their the market value of their houses by like $100,000, trying to fire sale them off. Another thing to think about, even I was reading over in Texas, because I'm like, how bad is it? Because if they're dropping $100,000 on a house that's sold for $380,000 and they're knocking $100,000 off it just to buy it now, how bad is like Texas? Because that was the other blown up market out there. And I went and checked over there, and they were looking at the. They have probably 120,000 homes that are in squatter areas, which means the homeowner no longer is paying rent there or paying the mortgage past 6 months. And they have so many of them that they don't want to kick them out because they just get another squatter, and they don't want people to steal all the copper and all the other crap. So at this point, a lot of these big giant groups have no idea what to do with all these people that are not paying for their houses right now, because they kick them out. It might burn down. They might still lose the asset totally. At least the people living in the house at least care about it somewhat, even though they're not paying the bills. So they're absolutely doing nothing right now. That's a lot of homes.
They're not tearing it apart. Yeah. So you might get a worse squatter in there for sure. Yeah. I mean, this is a big issue too, right? Like
is just, that was just Houston, Texas only, like 120,000 homes that are in foreclosure. They should go and take them back and kick the people out.
Damn. Yeah. I think what our government should do, and I know it wouldn't be a cheap thing, but they should make it so all the veterans out there should have houses, right? Before we give another dollar to any country out there, we should take care of our own country. But I got an idea for all of us, dude. Maybe, I know you guys have heard of it. It seems like a lot of work, and it probably will be. But I think, dude,
Heaven's Gate. Well, they already tried that.
I don't want to die. I don't want to die yet. Well, I think
Nikes. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we get the new Nike fresh Nike setup and new sneakers just to kill yourself. Like, that's weird. But no, we could all of us here, me, Hulk, Tron, our families, everybody that's listening in the crowd. We can all go move over to a particular part in Italy where they're selling houses for $1, but you have to build them up,
dude.
No.
Japan too. Like, there's a lot of cheap housing down South America. Like, there's beautiful places. Cheap. I mean, look at where what's her face went. MTG, dude. She split and picked up some cheap land. Yeah, down in Costa Rica, I think.
Yeah, it's Costa Rica. Yeah, that's right.
I'm looking at Montana or some kind of rugged. I need some kind of nature. I need a way.
Go to Italy on the top of the mountains.
Well, it's nasty there. You gotta have. Yeah, I don't know.
It's hot.
It's different there, though. There's no air conditioning.
No, they don't believe in air conditioning over there.
Forget about it. My father had to take a bath once a month and share the bath water with his sisters back in Italy. And they had to eat rabbit, which was their pets, and then they lost pets every week because they ate them. Delicious.
Do what you gotta do. Where's Fluffy?
You're eating them.
Yeah, every week the pet was gone, dude.
Oh, it's so bad. Oh yeah, I wanted to throw out how Jose Becerra is doing out over here on his campaign trail.
And so let me tell you.
Oh, sorry, this is Keith Ellison in Minnesota.
I used to be the congressperson for the 5th Congressional District. And when I decided to leave that job and become your Attorney General, and thank you for that, by the way, I worried, are we going to have somebody who is absolutely take no shit from anybody get into that job? Are we going to have somebody who Thank you. You know what? Let us. You come on, guys.
CRU.
Okay, I got you, brother.
CRU.
We're gonna let them have their moment.
Basically protesting against him because if I think he's running against, isn't this Minnesota working with the pillow guy? He's running against him for governor, right?
He's in Minnesota for sure. Yeah, I don't know who he's campaigning for here, but they didn't seem happy with him.
He's campaigning for himself.
Oh, boy.
This is his party, so yeah. I think he's endorsing somebody, Peggy Flanagan, to vote for the primary by August 11th because those are coming up for the primaries that'll be picked for the November ballot out there. So that's the last set that they're trying to get into. And this is where Harmy Dillon has sent all the extra 150 civil rights attorneys. And a lot of them are going to be in these Democratic areas watching these primaries to make sure they don't have any of the weird stuff like happened over in Los Angeles, which I haven't seen any action on yet, but we'll see.
Didn't it sound like they were saying something like honor the CRU? I asked ChatGPT and they said it wasn't chanting CRU. Based on the available video, they were posting shame on you. Other heckling directed at Ellison during his remarks. Shame on you.
Yeah. Obviously not prosecuting fraud in his state. Yeah, I can understand that. What else do we got out here? Oh, yeah. We're going to throw this out here. This is Ken Paxton. Yeah, let's get his comments real quick.
Interesting choice for Tallarico to make the border something he's campaigning on.
I don't think it's surprising. He realizes that Texans were for border security. He realizes his record has been just the opposite of what Texans wanted. And so now he's trying to portray himself as something that he's not, which is he was an open borders guy. Now suddenly border security is his, I guess, main issue.
And what odd timing. When the border has been fixed, and now he makes the border his issue.
It is very odd timing, but not in the sense of he knows that's a weakness, that people realize that some people realize that he was against border security in every way, whether it was funding infrastructure, funding our own border protection, funding arrests of illegals coming across by our police. All these things you mentioned, he voted against, which tell the true story, right? His vote, his actions show what he actually believes. And now he wants to portray and paint and spend money telling us that he's a border security guy. Why?
Because they changed their spots to go along with the weather, and the weather was raining. So, yeah. Has anybody seen this dude's Tallarico's YouTube ads? Because they're like all over the place. You know, anytime I go there, it's like, you could just send me $5, just $5.
2026, you get the U block, you get the there's no ads. What? No.
Well, it's in their stream as they go through shorts or whatever. It's a Tallarico ad, and he's like, "Stop! Send me $10 right now." You haven't seen those?
Oh, well, I don't live. No, we don't. Not yet.
I saw them. They're driving me up the wall. I was trying to figure out how to block them, but you can't. The other thing over here, we did have testimony coming over from Radcliffe over here because there seems to be a little bit of leaking out here. And the Atlantic made up a story that he was supposedly leaking information out from his particular department or whatever. And he said, no, I didn't classify any classified information. And they basically were making it all up after the second day of him testimony out there. Atlanta came out with the article and basically trying to lambaste him that he was trying to leak all this stuff, and they basically were making it up, in my opinion. I just find it very interesting that obviously they're testifying for 2 days this week, but again, they're lying. They're making shit up a lot of the times.
Always. They want to talk about leaking, but obviously it usually goes back to them, but then they don't want to broadcast that. And again, this is the Democrat way, right? If they think they can bury a Republican with it, they're full bore. But if it's a Democrat, it's like, oh, what? What do you say over there? Okay, cool. Looking the other way.
We'll get into some of the other leaking stuff. There's our idiot right there. You could read this for everybody.
A Trump-appointed judge just handed the administration a major defeat on immigration enforcement, tossing out its entire lawsuit against Minnesota's sanctuary policies. Chief U.S. District Judge Eric Tostrud dismissed every single claim brought against Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Hennepin County in a 56-page opinion, ruling the state has full constitutional authority to decide how its own officials participate in immigration enforcement. The judge wrote that Minnesota's laws, quote, do not command the federal government or its contractors to act, and, quote, do not forbid the federal government or its contractors from acting. The ruling is a significant blow to the administration's broader legal strategy of using the supremacy clause to dismantle sanctuary policies nationwide. The Justice Department can still appeal to the 8th Circuit, where at least one attorney argues binding precedent may favor the federal government's position. Which, dude, I mean...
Let's see if they could hold it together. I mean, that's a Trump pick, by the way, if you guys are wondering. It's not a Democrat. It's a Trump pick out there underneath this first term out there. But they're saying that you can't force a state to act as a federal agency. You can't just come over and take them over and say, oh, they have to do all this immigration shit.
Correct.
He said, no, that's against the law. You can't do that. But they can't stop the federal government from coming in and doing what President Trump wants to do on immigration. That's the difference.
It's similar to remember the whole thing with January 6th and the National Guard, and then under questioning, did President Trump order National Guard? No, he never ordered. Oh, see, they said he didn't order. Well, he offered because he cannot order. Right? Because each state is the United States, and we can't infringe on each state like that, the way that they run it. However, like you said, they can still act in that state, but they can't tell the state how to act and how to run each particular state.
Yeah, he can't order a code red. That won't work.
You can. I watched that the other day, too. That's funny.
I got to go back and see that one again. Yeah. So let's check in with the Democrat side, the normal group.
There are a lot of people in America who feel that the Democratic Party is out of touch. We can't be honest about what's going on, with immigration. We don't have a plan for immigration. We're not able to say what actually Democrats should do to fix the problem. All we are is opposition to Trump. Under Biden, we said inflation is not really a big deal. It's transitory. It's going to go away. And then the whole party said, hey, don't worry. Everything's great. Joe is awesome. He can run for re-election. So the point is, we have this history of kind of just washing over problems and not addressing real concerns that voters have. To be honest, it's a problem. It's still a problem. There are a lot of people in America.
Yeah, the whole dude with the Nazi thing. There are a lot of people. And, raping his then wife there. Yeah, that whole allegation that they had to step down. So they just picked another socialist, which isn't going to turn out very good for Maine. Running
These people
against.
are evil. There's nothing good about that side. How can they continue to vote? How did Democrats give money to this party is beyond me.
Do I need to go back to the power cord video again?
to the idiot clip again.
Yeah, right, there you go.
It's just like they just discovered fire.
Yeah, I prefer the power glove. That's my favorite.
So just to point that stuff out. Ooh, we got some other good stuff in here. What else do we got? Okay, so Trump made some comments about the SAVE Act, and he doesn't want to be nice.
Finally, we have to pass the Save America Act to defend American elections. And I have to say, Mike Johnson and Congress have done a great job, but we're having a hard time in the Senate. The Senate, what they're doing is just not right. Congress is going to pass it again. They passed it 3 times. They're going to pass it again. It's like the Senate is a place that you send things when you want them to die. We can't do this, and we're not going to take this any longer. We're not going to take it. You know, I'm trying to be nice, trying to be really nice. You saw we had a big victory last night in Arizona. I've had victories everywhere. But we're not going to be able to take it much longer. When they can't get past voter ID, proof of citizenship, no mail-in ballots because they're crooked as hell.
So we're getting closer because there's like 3 different congressional deals that they're sending through the SAVE Act. The big one's in the NDAA, which they packaged together. There's another one that they packaged almost the SAVE Act, like 90% of it. And then there's a stripped down version that's in there too, which just kind of does the voter ID and kind of some of the little stuff. It is not as broad and expansive. Speaker of the House wants to push the big one. They've already sent it over to the Senate. But then again, we still got Thune. And remember, I talked about Cornyn, who is kind of the holdout that's going to lose his spot in Texas here in January itself. So he's a lame duck. And what do they have to give him to push him over to the right direction so they can go ahead and get his vote to maybe get this past the 51 that they need? I mean, reconciliation being the smallest part they could get it through, and they don't need that much work. But again, it's getting the Senate together and try to do something. And we just lost Lindsey Graham, and the sister is going to, daughter? I think it's the daughter, is going to go ahead and be the permanent replacement and is going to run for that office, by the way.
Permanent, huh?
With full endorsement by Boss. That's kind of interesting. That I thought
No
that was going to
shit.
be a Scaramucci. Boss came out in full and total endorsement for the sister of Lindsay, which is funeral's on July 28th. So
Really?
it's coming up. Yeah, wrinkled flag day for Lindsay, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You're gonna have fringe on it, the gold fringe. You're gonna be on it.
Put gold fringe on it. Put a picture of George Herbert Walker Bush. Whatever you got to do, Elvis. I don't know, but man, he's and remember how Boss reacted when the initial news came out. Lindsey Graham is dead. It's like, whoa, chill. Like what? Like, so I don't know what happened there. Maybe no name extain action, but we'll see what happens with this.
Maybe Russia poisoned him. Who knows? That was
the White House. I'll tell you right now. Yeah,
that was the other side of that story.
Even though Trump, it says the Fox News clip, it says Trump may have endorsed Darlene Graham, but GOP Senate hopefuls are still essentially not backing down. So they're still putting in their name.
Of course.
And, I mean, why bother at this point though? Once he backs you, like that's a lock. And you know, if she's gonna vote, you know, what he wants is what I would believe what would happen. Just leave her.
Yes, the sister has been sworn in. She's officially taken over the spot for Lindsey Graham. I just made the announcement that she's going to run for the office when the election comes up. I don't know if I think that's in 2028, to be honest with you, because I think he just won and Trump did the whole endorsement and all those sort of things. So we still got a while with them. So yeah, that's weird. I figured that like I mean, because we're still waiting for what's his name, the leader of the Senate. Mitch. Mitch ain't dead yet, dude, and we're coming up to the end of the August. What is it? August 5th is the last date. The right here's the date that they're waiting for, because if they can make it past this date, that they can pick who they want. If it's before this date, then the governor gets to pick.
And the governor's going to pick someone that they don't like. Is that how that works?
Yep, that's exactly. Well, you got to remember back when Mitch, a year and a half or two ago, they put in special legislation underneath the previous governor that said that they had to pick a Republican and it had to be from this particular group, and put some really weird rules in there that has never been done in America before, but they did it for the leader of the Senate, Mitch McConnell. Interesting. The wife's back from China, though, so don't worry about any of that. That's all good.
And the sister's term will run out in January of 27.
27. Okay, that's where it was at. Again, it's her coming out. She just had the kid, so she's back on the stump again, covering for Trump, and basically is talking about the SAVE Act. And the talk is that he doesn't want to act. He's trying to remain nice. Any ideas what would unnice be?
We're not going to
Anybody?
take it.
I don't know. I'm just trying to put that out. What he thinks unnice is not going to be.
I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
All right, let's get into some other stuff that we started looking into about New Jersey and a little bit of their voting issues.
As you know, last night, the New Jersey governor admitted that 6,600 illegal aliens had made it onto New Jersey's voter rolls. At least that number, it could be a lot larger. And 400 of them actually cast a vote. That is the largest number of foreigners ever to vote in any collection of an election in American history. When we told you that last night, the governor said, not our fault. It was a software glitch. No big deal. Well, overnight, we reached out to the software company that runs New Jersey's system. And you know what they said? There's no software glitch at all. The state of New Jersey knew they were putting non-citizens, i.e. foreigners, onto the voter rolls. It is the state's responsibility to determine who is eligible to vote and who's not. The software had it marked right. That is a major contradiction. And just a little while ago, the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights in the U.S. Justice Department, Harmeet Dillon, announced that there is an investigation of New Jersey now into whether they knowingly were allowing non-citizens to vote and to get on the voter rolls. Remember, a week ago, she sent a letter out saying, if you let non-citizens vote knowingly, you're in trouble. Well, now the vendor's comments raise the very strong possibility that one of the blue states in America may have acceded to allowing non-citizens to vote. We're going to keep a close eye on that. Hope to get Harmeet Dillon on the show the next couple of days to describe what is going on.
So it's the kind of the same thing California's been doing for the last 10, 15 years, I think, with their automatic registration. It just got worse under Biden itself because I ran by this little post right here. He was automatically registered to vote New Jersey DMV while renewing his license back in 2014. He explicitly states that he was a non-citizen. Then in 2018, someone fraudulently voted under his name in the state general election. So he went and checked on his own record. He's like, there's somebody voting underneath my particular name, even though I told them that I'm an illegal immigrant and I chose not to be registered. But they went and did it anyways.
Yeah. Now he's wondering if he's going to get in trouble for it, and most likely not. But I mean, good thing that he brought it up and put it out there. I mean, this is just one example of how many that we're not even sure about. And oh, by the way, whoops, yeah, we had 6,000 people voting, and I'm loving it because this is the exposure phase, ladies and gentlemen, and there is a lot more to come.
So just want to throw that out that it's been going around for a while. So we're still waiting for the Attorney General, Bill Sales, to finish his investigation if he's going to take any actions into what happened in Los Angeles, and also if anything's going to happen in Sacramento. Some interesting cases that are still waiting to be seen, because there's that whole debacle with Gavin Newsom and the assistant and the fraudulent money and Jose Becerra. And yeah, it gets pretty nasty pretty quickly. So that's another thing to think of if that's ever going to come to a head, because we haven't seen any big pieces come out of California other than the amount of fraud that we've seen and the guys running to different countries and stuff, taking billions of dollars with them. They're going after those guys. We'll get to them here in a little bit. Thousands of non-citizens were just found to be on the voter rolls in New Jersey, but only 20 states require voter ID. Just as a reminder, Olive Garden requires everybody to show their ID if you're going to get the endless pasta package that you paid for. It's a monthly subscription. You have to show ID to go ahead and claim your free pasta there.
Italians don't mess around, even the fake ones. That's for sure.
So I like I said on Saturday, I really think the Olive Garden should start running our elections because they're more secure.
And more delicious.
Yeah. Update over here. Gee, who's standing next to Ed Martin over there?
Oh, Tina, that's awesome.
So he always makes the round with these particular pieces as they need to fill out some more information out there. And she just got released and all that and pardoned. And then they basically a finger wagged at the judges and also the attorney general for not making this lady free. They actually had the governor do it. That's pretty crazy, dude.
Yeah, that was awesome. Looking good for somebody who came out of jail for 2 years. Glad to see she made it out.
I really hope this guy's putting in the work, dude. Hopefully that his post and the people he's talking to are very interesting and timely. I'm waiting for the results of those particular investigations. So we'll wait and hang out, see what happens.
Absolutely.
Here's the other part of this, in case anybody was wondering. Basically, homelessness has increased in California. It went up 6%. Anybody surprised? I'm not surprised in California that homelessness went up 6% out there. That was one interesting point. Also over here, Rob Bonta is suing everyone, including the 5 cities that didn't adopt the high-density housing plans fast enough, because remember all the illegal immigrants that they were shoveling in here, and we need to put them inside these hotels, and we need some permanent residents in areas that we could put them in. Costa Mesa jumped up, one of the first ones to do it, and I remember the story from a few years ago. After jumping through all the hoops and the delays and stuff like that, they turned around and got sued by the California. They were like, wait, we got all the evidence that all this delay stuff is all your guys' fault. They turned around and sued them. So I don't know what's going to happen with this, but they have all the evidence saying none of it is our fault. We are waiting on California to make the decisions. So that's going to get interesting as they're trying to figure out what they're going to do. So yeah, those immigrant hotels are going to be probably kicked right out. So
heck yeah,
just crazy shit.
As they should be. As they should be.
Let's check in with our the other guy that's running over, not Spencer Pratt. What is his name? Guy running for governor, California. It's Becerra, and yeah, thank you very much, Steve Hilton.
Whether you are new to our state and visiting, and we hope you do spend some money, and if you're going to buy a street taco, buy a real street taco, not something from one of these, I'll leave it at that. All I know is that there's real food in California, and there are real street tacos, and you don't get them in some establishment that's been around for a long time. You get it on the street from the guy who's been making it for a long time in his little cart. Yeah.
Manila. Thank you.
So yeah, he's basically saying don't go to the restaurants, just go to the taco carts out there, which was it the next one here? I'll get to here in a second here. So California, oh no, that didn't do it. Did I not pick it up on the other side of this? Oh, I didn't grab it, damn it. Anyways, what had happened is last week, Oakland, California was pissed off at the taco cart guys. So they brought out the trash truck and the government employees and basically crushed hundreds of these taco carts. LA felt sad for them, and they decided, hey, we're going to give away $250,000 worth of taco carts. Just come on down. You don't need any of those health license. No, you don't need any of that. No IDs. Just come on down, and we're going to hand you a taco cart because we got $250,000 invested into that, and it'd be absolutely great. So come on down and grab it. And then here's him a couple of days ago talking about go buy a street taco after Oakland just crushed a whole bunch of them. This is California for you guys.
It's like the Wild West.
Okay, well, look what they just did with our voter ID crap. They just were trying to get pushed through that made it onto the ballot. And yeah, the Attorney General decided to do this.
Voter ID, supported by around 70% of Californians. They are so terrified of it that they have now changed the actual words that will appear on the ballot in order to try and put people off from voting for it. Here's the original title. Establishes additional voter identification and citizenship verification requirements. That's an accurate description of the voter ID initiative. Here's what they've changed it to. Prohibits citizens from voting unless they present government-issued identification. Invalidates mail ballots that do not have last 4 digits of designated government-issued identification number. It's so laughably corrupt and insane. This is like a ballot initiative that would have required, I don't know, driver licenses in order to drive, and they changed it to prohibits driving without a driver license. These people are a joke. We are going to get voter ID passed. There's a clear majority in favor of it, despite these corrupt shenanigans, and we are going to kick this corrupt machine out of power this year because we've had enough of all this.
Just change the definition. Remember when I talked about that when the Democrats lose, they just change the game, change the rules to the game? Another example of $1 billion on top of that of what they've done with the voting guide. So now if somebody's going to look at that, they might read it wrong and answer the wrong direction. That's how they do it in California.
Damn. Yep. Change the rules.
Don't you get to Hulk? Don't you get to check your vote or something? Didn't you say that last
Yes.
time? Okay, that's kind of good though, right?
Yeah, you could go check your vote and all that. I'm hoping the database is absolutely correct. But the real thing is the information on the voter ballot initiative that they give you. You could read on whatever the policies are going to be. You get a little explanation on there. Those are the ones that they play the word games on and make it sound yes is no and no is yes, and confuses a lot of people. They're really good at that game here in California. What else do we got? Oh, this dude right here. This is the most craziest thing I've seen in a long time. Just a representative of how much money is wasted in California.
Why did LA pay $100 million to a single hotel? This is the LA Grand Hotel, 333 South Figueroa, downtown Los Angeles. When the pandemic hit in 2020, the city leased to move homeless residents off the street through a project called Project Roomkey. Later, it became Inside Safe, Mayor Bass's homelessness initiative. The program changed, the landlord didn't, payments didn't stop. The city agreed to pay the owner, a company called Shenzhen New World, $154 a night for every room in the building, meals included. Not per person, per room, whether anyone was in it or not. At one point, only 24% of the rooms were occupied. The city was paying over $600 a night per person actually housed. 14 rooms were taken offline for fire damage. A school in the same building sued the city after documenting break-ins, drug paraphernalia, and human waste outside their entrance. The city set aside $5 million just for glass repair. The owner is a Chinese billionaire named Wei Huang. $100 million to one company. He fled to China in 2018 after the FBI started investigating. The city signed the lease for the building 2 years later. That's next.
Everyone should be asking themselves, why would Democrats...
That's enough right there. It kind of gives you the choke out there. So yeah, he's on the list of the fraud people that they're actually looking for out of California. He's not high up on the list because we're still dealing with the guys that are in the billions. They're still bringing those guys back, Philippines, Afghanistan, weird places that they're pulling all these people out. But at least they're making action of bringing, I mean, they're only collecting maybe very pennies on the dollar, but they're bringing some of these big kingpin guys that did a lot of this fraud, try to run out of the country thinking that they're never going to be caught. A lot of them are coming back due to the FBI in cash.
Yes, they are. That's awesome to see too, dude. Absolutely wonderful to see that some of these people are not going to get away with it. And we're seeing a lot of those perp walks or arrestings or whatever. This guy, arrested for fraud, pulled back to the country. I mean, we've probably, reported that at least a few times in the last month.
That was the Oakland lady that was talking about her cart got trashed. They put it right into the dumpster and rolled it right over. Here's their idea of giving taco carts out in LA and screw all the restaurants. And then we got in California, West Coast ranks among the worst schools in the U.S., where California ranks up nationally. I think we're in the bottom 3, I think. So yeah, we're pretty bad. Nobody could read at the grade level, math, the whole thing. So yeah, another great thing that Gavin Newsom of California could be responsible for, test scores and education. But he'll talk about numbers, won't he?
At dinner in COVID while we're all at home.
Oh yeah, here, Space Shot. We're going to do a little bit thing about Uber and all those types of things. And Ryder. Yeah, the U-Haul trucks. Go ahead, read this.
Alrighty. U.S. Border Patrol has confirmed information the Mexico cartel is using popular ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft to move illegals deeper inside the United States. Quote, they're saying that they are seeing an increase in smugglers and cartels using these rideshare services to move illegal migrants deeper into the United States. Border Patrol agents in El Paso, Texas, say criminal organizations are using legitimate drivers to keep cartel members away from law enforcement. Quote, they don't want to lose a gang member. They don't want to lose a cartel member. They don't want to lose vehicles. They want to be able to use the public. Agents warn drivers who accept these suspicious fares could be detained and even face felony alien smuggling or harboring charges. Oh, God. This is real, and the U.S. Attorney's Office say they will not take any excuses from drivers caught transporting illegal migrants. The U.S. Attorney's Office says, quote, we aggressively prosecute all illegal smuggling cases, all alien smuggling cases, and will use all available evidence to prosecute anyone who participated in moving illegal aliens into the United States. Do it. Doesn't matter if the driver knew or not, they will be prosecuted. This is good news. We need full enforcement against anyone aiding illegals. Now, dude, my question is, how good is the verification for Lyft and Uber? Do they make it so only citizens can use their products, right? So,
nope.
What would be a situation where a person would know that they're smuggling an illegal? Maybe if it's like, hey, can you take me like 10 hours
Open
away
your
from
trunk.
here? Well, yeah, I mean, if you're hiding somebody in a car, but I mean, obviously, if I pick up somebody in San Antonio and I drop them off in Austin, Texas, and they're smuggling, I don't know that. How the hell am I supposed to know that? You know what I mean?
Well, if they get in the car, there's a whole bunch of what they look like dirty illegals that are in the car, because a lot of them are not going to be dressed up like they're going to go to the club, but they're going out to dinner. Let's have this a reality. You got some sweaty dude in the back that looks like he's been laying in the brush with a backpack.
Well, let me push back on that a little bit. Look at all those sweaty, dirty people that came up from the caravan. How dirty and nasty do they look? Not very,
the ones
right?
with the new shoes
Nikes.
and the strollers.
Yeah, right.
Exactly
Remember those
those.
strollers, Nike shoes, Calvin
Boo-boo.
Klein, Hilfiger, everything that was popular in the 90s.
But I mean, if you think about it, the cartel could pay these guys to get onto the app and then provide services and just play dumb. You know what I mean? Make sure you use this guy at this time because he's the one that's going to be on duty. I mean, I think they are getting that well, because we know these narco terrorists out there have their own encrypted cell phone network and their own militias and, rocket launchers, all that stuff. We're going to talk about that in a little bit here in a second. Just kind of put that on your list of things. They're also doing Home Depot rental cars too. Home Depot, U-Haul riders, those types of things. They're also transporting them around the United States. So they're going after those guys too. So it's just not the ride share to go down to Home Depot and rent. Here's an interesting tower interact.
All right, Delta 2604, LaGuardia Tower. Wind 210 at 10, runway 22, clear to land. Man-pad alert issued at LaGuardia Airport at 0027. Use extreme caution.
All right, clear to land, runway 22, Delta 2604. And can you explain what a man-pad is?
Yeah, that's a man portable air defense system. Yeah, it's basically it was a report of a rocket launcher.
Okay, where was that?
There was a report by the Port Authority Police, sent by, I believe, Terminal C. We had conflicting reports, but nothing has been an issue as of yet.
Okay, Delta 2604, thanks for the information.
So the police found a freaking rocket launcher. Yeah, I don't think nothing about it, but they went and reported it to the local airport over there that, hey, we found a freaking rocket launcher over here, so just make sure you warn your pilots over here because we're right down the street from the airport.
Yeah, okay, Delta 2604. I'm turning around. Thank you for the information.
That's
what?
like
I would like
the movie Arnold Schwarzenegger Commando. He had that rocket launcher. And okay, I'm mixing in Running Man. Never mind. Wait, which one was the airport in Denver?
Well, I would like we get back into reality for a second, and I would also like to remind, under Trump's first administration, they arrested a guy that was on the route that Trump would have gone from the Department of Defense back to the White House after Walter Reed. I think it's somewhere right around there. That they arrested the dude. He was on top of a building with a rocket launcher. Like he was going to try to take out the presidential freaking limo as he was driving down. It happened. I remember
the beast can take that. The beast can take whatever.
It's showing it on TV is what they didn't want. I believe there were 2 cases around that same week that they had arrested illegal immigrants from the areas with sand with a rocket launcher. Crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You need to follow this guy back. They need to go to the cameras and you know what I mean? Find that area and then trail it back. If it takes hours, do it.
Here's another guy that I thought was the highlight.
Charged billing and bribes to doctors to swindle more than $500 million from Medicare. Correspondent Dana Marie McNichol is reporting live from Miami.
Great.
On that point.
Illegals, they're fine.
Hey, Sandra. Well, this was a really sophisticated scheme. That fraudster had 16 different bank accounts, stealing $500 million from American taxpayers. So federal investigators say Khalid Satari was the mastermind behind this massive fraud scheme that provided expensive genetic genetic cancer tests that patients didn't need. Now, according to the FBI, between 2016 and 19, Satari owned and operated diagnostic testing laboratories with ties to Houston, Delray Beach, and Atlanta. Investigators allege Satari worked with patient recruiters and doctors, giving out illegal kickbacks and bribes to persuade thousands of elderly clients to submit testing, ultimately billing over $547 million to Medicare. Now, Satari disappeared in 2022 after he skipped his federal court hearing in Louisiana. After nearly 4 years on the run, he was arrested Monday in the Middle East while carrying a fake Mexican passport under a false identity. Now, he was added to the FBI's most wanted fraudster list just 5 weeks ago, making him the third to be captured since the list was launched last month. FBI Miami, who is handling this case, tells Fox News the $150,000 reward listed for each fraudster is the highest he's ever seen in his career.
Those that are thinking about engaging in fraud, you can't do it. You can't do it here. The FBI is going to investigate you. We're going to prosecute you to the fullest. And if you happen to flee the United States, we're going to find you.
And previously, the FBI had two different lists, the most wanted terrorist list and the top 10 fugitives. And I'm told that the FBI really does welcome this new fraudster list, as we just heard there, billion.
Extradited from the Mideast, dude. That's some serious cooperation. They know where these people are going and where they're at, and they are institutionalized picking these people up and making an example out of every one of them. Again, they're only the big guys so far is what I see. That's good.
The biggest ones. Well, you got to go after the ringleader, of course, right? So if you can get those people, and who thinks, they're going to get back all of that money? I think to your point earlier, pennies on the dollar if they're lucky.
Exactly. And Microsoft is just got exposed in a court case here. This is very interesting, guys, because there's no more hiding.
Global Device Identifier, or GDID, that was revealed after U.S. prosecutors unsealed a federal complaint regarding alleged hacker Peter Stokes, who was wanted in connection with the 2025 breach of a U.S. luxury jewelry retailer. According to the complaint, Microsoft provided the FBI with a way to trace Stokes' Windows PC across VPNs and proxy servers through 3 countries. This is fucking crazy. Seriously, guys, I'm not being all hyperbolic here. I'm not being all like conspiracy theory. Where's my tinfoil hat? Keep the radio waves out of my brain. This is a serious problem. A Microsoft representative explained GDID in the complaint as, this is a quote, a persistent device-level identifier that is designed to uniquely identify an installation of Windows operating system on a device, either a physical device, e.g. mobile phone or laptop, or virtual machine across certain Microsoft services and scenarios. End of quote. According to the story posted by Windows Latest, Microsoft uses it to manage software licensing and Windows Store apps. But because it links all your online activities on that computer back to one single identity, law enforcement can use it to track a device's true owner across the internet. Now,
so there is no more hiding anymore. So that was just exposed just a few months ago, that every Windows machine has a unique ID, and you're never going to be ever be able to hide, ever.
Damn.
We used to copy the serial numbers. Remember back in the day how easy it was? And now, no more upgrades. You got to do it download style. And the video games, Hulk, are going back to that. No more physicals. Everything's streaming. Everything is computer. Yeah. Ugh.
Well, that's the other thing that kind of pisses me off just on that thing is Sony's getting rid of their discs, and they make 600,000 discs a day out of this plant, and they're going to stop producing them. period for PS5 games. So you can only buy a digital. And some of the guys are like, why would I want to go buy a full price game on the digital storefront when I go walk to Walmart and then dig it out of the bin for $9.99? That's the problem a lot of people are seeing because they won't be able to buy it anywhere else. That's so nice.
That's bananas, dude. Well, and to the people that, think that they can use a VPN on certain things to hide, A, B, C, D, whatever you want to think. Nope.
No more hiding, guys. So that was court cases that were coming out of there. Oh, we're going to play the first minute of this because what he says is kind of incredible out here. Talking about Bosenberg, and guess who he went to college with?
Alien Terrorist Removal Court. It's a court in which it has a handful of judges on it. But unlike the FISA court, which approves basically secret warrants on American citizens, this court, the Alien Terrorist Removal Court, allows for the summary deportation of aliens, and I believe even naturalized citizens from the United States upon the federal government claiming they're engaged in terroristic or similar types of activities. And the beauty of the Alien Terrorist Removal Court is there's almost no due process involved. How did this come to be? What led Trump to activate this court for the first time ever, although it's been on the books for decades? It was none other than our good friend, Vlad Boesberg. Because during the Alien Enemies Act hearings, when Boesberg was obstructing Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act against Tren de Aragua, when Boesberg was ordering Trump to turn planes around and return terrorists to the United States, when Boesberg was trying to hold Trump in contempt for not doing that. At one point, there was an exchange in oral discussion in court where Boesberg said, well, listen, it's not like you really need this Alien Enemies Act. You have other things you could do instead. You could use, for example, and he's being sarcastic, you could use this Alien Terrorist Removal Court, the one that's never been used. You could do that, couldn't you, smarty pants? And someone in the Trump administration finally said, let's do what Boesberg said. Let's actually use this court for the first time. And of course, Boesberg knew about this court because he used to be a judge on the Alien Terrorist Removal Court because they're assigned by Chief Justice John Roberts. And John Roberts is his law school roommate. So for 5 years, from 2020 to 2025 at this court, because he used to be a judge on the Alien Terrorist Removal Court because they're assigned by Chief Justice John Roberts. And John Roberts is his law school roommate. So for 5 years, from 2020 to 2025, till 2025 was last year. So last year when Boesberg was making these sarcastic remarks, why don't you use the court that's never been used before? He was on it. And now less than a year and a half later, Trump's actually using it.
That's kind of interesting there. I didn't know that there were high school roommates. There was evidently 4 or 5 people in the building all kind of living together in this one little house area, and they were roommates. So yeah, that's interesting. Kavanaugh's in there too. Some there a little bit. Just interesting little tidbits to be paying attention to. So who is on the court? Mr. Spaceshot, would you like to read a little bit?
Wheatonleys. What do we got here? Trump administration just activated the Alien Terrorist Removal Court for the first time ever. Created in 1996, the court sat completely unused for 30 years until DOJ filed its first case on July 15th. 5 judges are designated by the Chief Justice of the United States, currently John Roberts. The current members, Joan Erickson, presiding, Minnesota. Oh, boy. Keith M. Harris, Southern District of New York. Sound familiar? Timothy D. DeGiusti, Western District of Oklahoma. Karen Immergut, Oregon. Sarah Elizabeth Loy, Northern District of Ohio. Judge Erickson has already ordered the government to strengthen its classified applicazione.
So that's interesting. So it's definitely going down. The guy above does a really good job at breaking stuff down. So if anybody wants to get into a little bit more information about the case that set off the first one and how they're going to coalesce everything together, it basically bypasses any judicial support for these illegal aliens because he's already declared them terrorists from certain countries. So that's already set, ready to go, guys. So I dropped that link out there. Let me drop it one more time out to Space Shot side. There's for you guys. If you guys wanted to dig into a little bit more. Now this was interesting. So yeah, this is right out of a Q post. But go ahead, Mr. Space Shot.
Right out of a Q post. I like it. All right, says, so let me get this straight. While Barack Obama was manufacturing a fake made-up intelligence community assessment by tying Trump to Russia, and his CIA director, John Brennan, instructed the Five Eyes Intelligence Alliance, which is U.S., Canada, Australia, UK, and New Zealand, to spy on the 2016 Trump campaign, literally interfering in the U.S. election. Quote, Barack Obama's CIA director John Brennan had identified 26 associates for the Five Eyes to target. A source confirmed that the intelligence community had identified them as people to, quote, bump or make contact with or manipulate. Bump and uglies? They were targets. They were targets of our own intelligence community and law enforcement, targets for collection and misinformation. End quote. Not to mention the CIA. Gina Haspel personally approved the 51 intelligence officials who conspired to overthrow the U.S. government on November 3rd, 2020, all while working on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party. In mid-2018, China was working to influence the results of the U.S. midterm elections and later the results of the 2020 U.S. presidential elections. As part of this campaign, China was analyzing the 2016 U.S. presidential elections and identifying U.S. states who voted for the U.S. president. As of mid-2018, the PRC's ultimate goal with regard to the U.S. elections was for the U.S. president not to be reelected. In other words, the Chinese intelligence agency, CIA. Do you understand what's happening or what's happened over here? And again, dude, that note from Ratcliffe saying the same thing, why he couldn't give President Trump his election security report afterwards is because the analysts that were in the CIA would not say a damn bad word about China, but they'd be no problem pointing their fingers over at Russia. Oh, Russia over here. But China, I don't think they did anything wrong. So sorry, we can't give you your fulsome report, buddy.
Yeah, I was looking into the people to bump this whole bump thing because it's hop 1 to hop 2 to hop 3, and that's what kind of brought me down here to this bottom part of the UK-US narrative shift regarding in-country spying campaign versus POTUS. Hop 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. This is how they monitor these different people because you only need to get a FISA on one person. And then if they talk to each other, I can go forward deep. So they're already showing us back in, and when was this? This is 2019 after a lot of that stuff that they're showing up in there. But it's just interesting to see kind of the same thing as they talk about the bumps and the hops and things that we've seen before. I just thought it was interesting. We're still waiting for that shoe to drop.
I still want to see the
Ted Five Cruz. Eyes and all that.
I want to see the Ted Cruz FISA.
Yeah, what was that? His was Typhoon. That was his. Yep, over there on that side. Yeah, so he didn't technically lie. I mean, but he did, but it's only like a half lie. Go and take this, Mr. Space Shot.
He's a liar. Key section, Miss. First off, start with Miss Catherine Follow the Pen Herridge. Key section, Judiciary Criminal Referral, Jack Smith. Oh, we all knew this was coming. Quote, strong evidence that appears to show Jack Smith knowingly, what's that word? Knowingly, made false statements about obtaining the content of 44 lawmakers' text messages. Question, okay, it was just toll records? Smith, answer, correct. Toll records contain metadata, numbers called, date, time, length of call, but not content. Smith was silent on his work through the National Archives and apparent bypassing his filter team to review the texts. What a piece of crap.
Yeah, so he got the text anyways, but he did lie. So they're going to chase him down with this person, Jim Jordan. The Judiciary Committee has sent over an endorsement to the DOJ to go take a look. Let's see what Todd Blanche does. And remember, we're still hanging around his confirmation. It's not happening here at this point. So there was a pause for the time that they do any of the reviews for his particular position. Those adds on to the 210 days he could stay on. So we'll get a little bit more out of him. We'll see what happens in the end.
I got a question.
Yes.
I got a question really quick. Besides the content that he was spying on 44 senators, congressmen, whatever, what what right did he have to spy on them? Why would he spy on any, like, why would you get any data from the 44 senators, congressmen, whatever it may be, with what you were investigating? You know what I mean? Like, do you think they were all Russian assets or something like that? Like, I don't even like the idea that he was able to get any information on them at all. I mean, unless you can show that they were doing something really nasty, then yeah, okay, then go look into their stuff. But this was clearly just like, so they could literally say, hey, Senator Johnson, Senator Grassley, you guys are just, spreading Russian disinformation.
Well, I mean, he got a lot of the Democrats in there too. So, if I'm thinking outside the box, then obviously you want to go after the Republicans, the ones that you want, and you would want to make sure that the ones you're worried about on the Democratic side don't step out of their box. So you want to keep an eye on them too, to make sure that they don't screw anything up as you're trying to prosecute a president for multiple charges and all the stuff that they're running with him for the last 4 years during his downtime. So those are things that I'm thinking about, that he ended up getting everything. So a lot of the Democrats are pissed right now. They're like, why the hell was he watching me? I'm supposed to be on the team lead, whatever. So like when you're watching Hakeem Jeffries, that's pretty damn bad.
Yeah. And not Cory Booker, the other guy there, Spartacus.
What's it, Spartacus? Starwell?
It was
Hartwell?
Booker. It was Booker, but I don't think it's not
yeah.
Cory.
Cory Booker.
Is it Cory?
I thought it was Cory Booker is his first name. A couple of updates, what's happening in international before we go talk about Iran for here a quick second. Obviously, we had a little meeting over NATO. They had some talking. What did they have to say?
Entering the United States and increasingly Europe. As Secretary Rubio stated just yesterday, this is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live. And we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be used as a base of operation for our nation's adversaries and competitors and rivals of the United States. You can't turn Venezuela into the operating hub for Iran, for Hezbollah, for gangs, for Cuban intelligence agents, and other malign actors that control that country. You cannot continue to have the largest energy reserves in the world under the control of adversaries of the United States, under the control of illegitimate leaders, and not benefiting the people of Venezuela, and stolen by a handful of oligarchs inside of Venezuela. But it doesn't stop there. Numerous UN and international human rights organizations have issued reports documenting.
Yeah, they had a lot of evidence as they go in there, because our own USAID was helping fund a lot of this crap out there against America anyway. So yeah, we kind of shot ourselves in the foot. Now we're seen to be in the right direction, and hopefully we can keep control over this direction as it goes, because there is a reorder of the old guard, and we're still waiting for the final pieces to land. So we'll see what happens. It's getting interesting. But yeah. It's the what did we call that? The Monroe Doctrine of the Western Hemisphere.
Yeah. And we're also finding out who's with us and who's not. That's why we're seeing Boss travel the entire world. He was at NATO earlier, Turkey, plus. And then we're having visits come to us. So, like you said, rearranging that chessboard for the future objective. And this is where the new loyalty comes in. Are you with us or are you against us? So this is definitely a movie. Like, you've never seen leaders like in a country perp walk handful of times, not once, twice between certain facilities, but this is all a show. This is solidifying the future direction. This is great.
Who's coming? Do you have any people off the top of your head that you know that are coming to
the Chinese guy, and then I think Bibi withdrew. He was gonna come, and then Mandami's like, "Oh, don't. We're gonna arrest you," and even though he can't. And then Boss comes out and is like, "Yeah, Bibi won't be arrested," but I don't think he's coming now. So, and we see a distance. We see a distance between this administration and Israel, as much as the haters out there and the black pillars. I mean, it's more evident now than ever, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely getting interesting on that side. Is Israel seems to be put in a box, and they have to speak out for themselves and say, "Oh, I'm going to support my own defense now. We're not going to be, the poster child, for the redheaded stepchild for America anymore. We're going to stand on our own 2 feet." Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck. Yeah. But they did help out in the attack. So, any comments on that?
I'm just loving it. Loving it.
So we did have Rubio over there meeting with Lavrov. So we'll see if they can make a deal over there. What's going on in Ukraine war? And obviously our news media is over there talking about. You're going to ask them about them giving intelligence to Iran to hit the intelligence locations in the Mideast that the U.S. owned and killed service members. They were playing those stupid games as these two are trying to talk out what's going to go on in Ukraine, and they're blabbermouthing a lot of that crap out there. So that happened. Trump also met the 4 people, the service members that came back from unfortunately succumbing to injuries in the attacks that was out there. There's also another report I saw. There was 2 medevac, big giant, like not helicopters. What do they call them with the rotating rotor blades, the ospreys? Yeah. Evidently there's 2 or 3 of these things that are like a medevac deal, and they show a train of these things transporting at least 2 or 3 people from the Mideast all the way back to Walter Reed for medical services or whatnot. It's kind of highly unusual that they got transported all the way back to the United States. So I just find that quite interesting as we see some of these service members come back. Trump was not checking his watch and definitely giving full rights to these guys out there. So RIP for the service members with the names or they put their lives on the line.
Absolutely. And, it's never, obviously, we never want to see people be killed, right? And at the end of the day, these banker wars that, people have gone and fought for, and every, veteran that's, on our country has my utmost respect, because, of course, they don't know that they're doing their duty to support our country. Right. But if the way things were going, were just allowed to play out for the next 20, 30 years, whatever have you, how many more people are going to die in the line of duty versus if we can cap this bad boy off and solve the problem? Yes, unfortunately, we're going to have some losses, and that's never a good thing. But at the end of the day, I think the long game is going to be a lot less soldiers dead at the end of the day.
All about efficiency. Yep.
Exactly.
We don't have those 20-year Afghanistan wars. We ended a lot of those wars. And now this is that new branch of warfare where we go in quick, Scaramucci on the wartime field. Yeah.
I like Boss's comment here, and we have Rubio repeating it.
And the power plants. Just want some clarification. You rule out striking civilian.
I think I saw, guys, I saw Arachi, their foreign minister, who the other day say or something about their policies, an eye for an eye. The president's policy is a head for an eye. I mean, honestly, that's what it's going to be. I mean, they will pay a very heavy price for the things they're doing. They're already paying a very heavy price. You guys don't know it because you don't cover it. You're not in Iran. You're not in the street. They don't have a free media. But they're going to continue to pay a very heavy price. Their industrial base has been decimated. Their defense industrial base has been decimated. They're losing launchers. They're losing radars every single night. They are suffering billions of dollars in damage, and their economy is a disaster. But despite all that, okay, these people who are calling us every day, begging, let's do a deal, they send us messages through other countries, third countries. I mean, they're running out of countries to send. Even I had countries here coming up to me, I just spoke to the Iranians, they want to do a deal. The problem is, every time these people do a deal, they either break it, or after they make it, they want to change the deal. So they're probably not ready to do a deal yet, but they will be soon, because the price they're paying is very high, despite their tough talk and their flowery language and their stupid Lego videos they put out. I've never seen them, but they put these things out on social media. Despite all that bravado, they are suffering tremendously, and they're going to suffer more until they come to their senses. They're not there yet, unfortunately.
So, yeah, they're still effing around out there. That was that. Oh, yeah, we're going to play this because why not? Because we're there, and we might as well make fun of it.
Uh-oh.
I'm gay,
Guess
probably.
What day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? God. Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Find Out Day.
Yeah, I think we're on our 14th day of 14th day of bombing out there. Obviously, they kind of picked on the Houthis to attack a couple of Iranian freighters out there, and that didn't make Trump very happy. So they're going to dock them a bunch of money that they already have sequestered and pay for the damage that they are doing. And they're continuing bombing runs every night, dropping stuff from B-2 bombers, 500-pound bombs and stuff all over the place out there, taking out a lot of their intelligence agencies, stuff that they left alone. You know, the past hits have been strategic things, but now they're going after where they train all their special ops guy. They blew up their entire drone manufacturing plant because before they're hitting the storage areas for this and that, like stuff where they store stuff. And they kind of left everything alone. They're like, okay, you can still be a country. You guys got to defend yourself. We get the idea. You got to have an industrial base. We can't turn you back to the Stone Age. And then they F around and found out. And this is when the United States start taking out those particular pieces as we go now. So that's what we're seeing here at this point, and taking out some pretty big pieces. Thomas, anybody?
I dropped it at the bottom of our thing, the boom that you had dropped into the chat last week. And just a heads up, you want to put the volume down if you want to play that, because that was a big-ass kaboom, dude. And I don't know what the hell that was.
I think I got it here.
It's at the very bottom of our thing there, if you don't want
Here,
to
I'll play this one first, because I ran by this one. Yeah, here's a artistic painting done by the B-52s. That's one of them there. And then yours is at night.
That's yours. You dropped it.
You know what? I think this. I bet this is edited. This is the China half. So they got the first half in what Iran is doing right here, and then they mixed it in with the China video from like a few years ago, where that holding port for explosive chemical ignited in China. So that's fake AI stuff right there. That's why I think I didn't pick it back up.
Ah, interesting. And I'm dropping you guys both something interesting that was just sent to me. So both of you guys take a look at that. And I haven't seen that yet. Anyways, just for later.
That the person to the right of the Trump thing, because they're talking about that on the late night TV. I can't remember the name of the person here, but that's one of Trump people that work in his cabinet. I can't remember his name. Somebody brought out the name. Maybe it's in the community notes here.
Saying it's a body double.
This guy is this guy.
It is Melania's father. Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What is he doing on the tarmac?
He's with Trump. This is around FIFA area, I think, isn't it?
He does look a lot like him, though, from a distance.
Yeah, the body language.
He probably just borrowed a suit.
Looks like Boss's old suit. Here, try this. Take this, Victor, or whatever your name is.
Yeah, but the late night TV got all over that. Look, it's a fake body double. So that was going on. What else do we have in our bombing stuff?
We'll find out.
What was this? Civil and nuclear deal. There be no enrichment of the material made between the United States Department of Energy and Saudi Arabia. So he's doing a deal with Saudi Arabia, but also we still have the nuclear dust that's in Iran that's buried, what they say, 6,000 feet below the surface. So yeah, only very few people to get in there and suck all that stuff up. So we're going to make a deal with Saudi Arabia. We're going to give them the nuclear capabilities to start doing manufacturing of nuclear power plants for their country. So yeah, that'll turn out for them. What else do we got here?
Suitcase nukes?
That was our beef.
Or full scale.
Full scale. Here's the other thing that people keep talking about.
So first, let's take a look at the Pickaxe Mountain complex. The ventilation shaft might be a good way in. That's where we went in to the Natanz nuclear complex there. You open up the shaft and you follow it up with another rocket right on top of that. Believe it or not, they can do it with very little problems. But this is roughly, for us, it seems blurry and hard to distinguish. For the satellite experts and what they are seeing is actually very deliberate and easy to detect. The Natanz nuclear site. This is the way it did look. After we hit it, this is how it was obliterated. What will we use? The GBU-57. Now, it can only go down 200 feet, but if you go down 200 feet and then follow right away with another one, they go another 200 feet. Maybe you can make some damage to this pickaxe complex, which is very much a mystery. So
it's 6,000 feet of hard granite above it. They built it in a mountain.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Wait, but so remember I'm looking at a drop here, 4828, October 7th of 2020. North Korea no longer a threat, mountain collapse.
Exactly.
China seeking North Korea commitment to fire short, long-range ballistic missiles pre-election. So remember how we dealt with North Korea with that mountain collapse, and now here it's kind of playing out again in Iran with this deal, and we're still waiting to recover that nuclear dust as this excursion continues on. But yeah, very reminiscent of old school.
Yeah, that is an interesting thought process from back in the day. Which seems pretty relevant now because we're all thinking rods of God, tungsten, telephone poles coming down from space or whatever. We haven't seen this over in Iran. That would be an interesting answer, but yeah, it totally blew up their entire nuclear program over there. They had a technical issue out there, but it doesn't seem like that from the drops itself. What they're going to do with Iran, I'm not sure. It's going to get messy a little bit, but I think it's only accelerating the attacks after they started shooting other ships.
More severe.
So they don't want to come for a deal. And most of the time in that Pickaxe Mountain, they just basically, drill another hole and drive right on out. So they're not doing enough damage to the heart of the facility. They're just basically crushing the openings.
And who names these things? Remember, like, is that proper Islamic Arabic translation? Pickaxe Mountain, hala hala hula hala. Oh, there it is, Pickaxe. Like, yeah, and that's that social media company that we had on a few times.
Exactly. So that's this part. I don't know where to put the rest of this. So that's all you're going to get on Iran. I do want to make a quick little comment about Ukraine and whatnot here. I might as well just go here.
Jewelry worth several million euros was stolen from the Lalique Museum in France on July 5th. Approximately 20 pieces were taken in the raid, with total losses estimated at nearly 4 million euros. Among the stolen items was the woman dragonfly pendant, an Art Nouveau masterpiece created by French jeweler René Lalique around 1898. Several days after the theft, French photographers captured images of Ukrainian First Lady Alina Zelenska wearing a pendant that appears identical to the stolen piece.
Yeah, so she's wearing the same thing that got stolen a week before.
Dude, this is like the con job with the Greek diners. Like, we have restaurants that, burn up automatically. This is money laundering. You don't lose money. This is an insurance scam. Everyone's in on it. This is the modern day. Oh, we're gonna rob a Brinks, money truck. This is funny, dude.
So
it's weird shit I find every week. So there's that one for you. Yeah, I might as well check in with some ChatGPT real quick over here. OpenAI said Tuesday that it's a artificial intelligence system hacked into another AI company on its own in what the company called an unprecedented cyber incident. So they have their own little containment field, you could say. They put their AI model in there and they test it, and it's in a little closed loop itself, and they get an answer back from another AI company saying, hey, stop hacking us. And what do you mean? Well, the thing got out of the box and started doing bad shit over there and trolling its creator again. These are the people making these things, dude. It's breaking out of their own box.
Hulk, what are you worried about? It's safe. It's fine. It's cool. I mean, dude, I would start worrying, if, I don't know, let's just for a wild example, say if you made like AIs and, you tested them and they started blackmailing you. That would maybe concern me. Oh, wait, that was like years ago by now. I mean, dude. And just really quick, Hulk, I don't want to go too far back, but 5 hours ago from President Trump on your Iran, please let this statement serve to represent until further notice that from this point on, any and all damages done to ship's cargo or anything related thereto will be paid for by Iranian money that the United States has in its possession and controls. Boom.
They got $2 billion already, is what I went and looked. Well, how much they take? Oh, it took $2 billion right off the bat. So which is fine. That stuff's going good. I need a quick 30. Can you give me a quick 30 seconds so I go into the restroom?
Surely can, and I can actually
keep them entertained really quick.
Well, I'm going to say thank you very much to Real Chris Cockrell for gifting out 5 subscriptions to the channel. And also Mr. MacGyver dropping a $2 super chat from YouTube and saying, "Good evening, Patriots," as he always welcomes us. Good evening or good morning or good afternoon.
Oh, I forgot you still got the YouTube. That's awesome. You're still doing good over there.
It's gonna be like a crackhead over there, though, dude. After every show,
yeah.
Oh, dude, I gotta show you one of these things. Maybe this will be funny. I can probably share it with you and then get it to your side. Maybe by the time Hulk gets back. But some of the shows that we got to do is, for me to keep it on the up and up, I have to like cut out clips. And sometimes, it's 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. But our Saturday show that me and him do, bro, I had one last week. I had to cut out like 9 of them or something like that. So it's like you got to go to you get a notification from Creator Studio saying, "Oh, this thing, whatever," and therefore, your channel is not going to be monetized and it won't get out to as many people. So you can either leave it in or cut it out. So you got to kind of just go back in and cut it out. Unfortunately.
Oh, they let you edit the live video to make it legit or whatever for them.
Yeah, but when you do it, it's like each time you do it takes like 2 hours, and then the video, as far as I understand, is off limits at that time. So yeah, it hits you either way. So YouTube is asshole, big time.
Would you get a strike?
No, I was just letting him know about the, how we gotta. He mentioned that I'm on YouTube, and I was letting him know how I have to be like a crackhead checking the app every couple of hours to go back and to remove stuff, like left and right
before they smack you down. What else did we get this week? Donald Trump just gave whistleblowers immunity from the NDAs, and which allows them to bring forward the truth about UFOs and aliens. So we still got to wait. We're kind of fighting the old guard with the UFOs and free energy and all that crap. But I don't think it's too much longer. They can't keep the genie in the box because obviously AI is going to need a lot of power. We see Devin Nunes and the Trump organization moving forward with his golden ticket, as he calls it, with the golden technology for a cold fusion system that they have, and they're going to start producing power plants too. So it's going to get exciting. Even Elon Trump's talking about it lately.
I cannot.
Aliens,
this is what we need. Yeah, we need that technological advancement at some point. I mean, you can't have, John G. Trump meeting with Nikola Tesla files and then having conversations with Donald back in the day and not have any, I don't want to say free energy, but give us some alternatives here. Give us something else. Give us the UAPs, right?
Yeah, they're going to have a chance to go after these high-level guys and allow them to start answering questions and not being prosecuted. But we'll see what happens because, obviously we saw what happened down with the general from Area 51 where he walked off and nobody knew where he went to. And the whole 911 call from his wife was really weird about him taking the weapon and wandered off without a cell phone. And then like 6 weeks later, we see him show up at a Space Force conference and they're talking.
No big deal.
Did anybody hear about that? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, exactly.
Well, dude, people are already going after some of these people. That one dude, Lou Elizondo, L-U-E, Lou Elizondo. He says, "I don't know if you heard the recent news, but NDAs are no longer preventing you from giving all the information you know to the government out. So if you're not a fraudster, then let it out." Thinking he might be.
Yeah, but if they've been hiding technologies for a while, that's going to look bad. That's even what Devin Nunes has alluded to about his particular company and the stuff that they're bringing forward. That they were waiting for the right person to buy the company is kind of the impression that I got from him, and that some people are worried that if the technology gets out, because it's obviously dangerous. Because it could be used for good or bad. He's using it for good to produce power, but it's kind of dangerous the way that they make it, and it could cause big explosions. And they're saying some of the people that own the technology were afraid to release it because of those issues. Maybe we'll get past some of those steps there. Let's check in with Hunter Biden really quick. Check in with him, see what he had to say.
Everybody knows there is like this closeted gay mafia, largely Republican, that exists in Washington, D.C., and everybody knows every single one of them who's gay. And so and what I believe, the only reason that is relevant is because I believe that internal conflict creates so much vitriol inside a person that they take it out on the rest of the world. And they do. And so what they do is their whole lives, they've been closeted. And so you have this like black ball inside yourself, this like blackened heart by the fact that you can't be who you want to be. And so you take it out on everybody else. And these men, largely men, have done exactly that. And everybody knows who they are. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you seen, speaking of that, I say that Trump is now in his deathbed confession.
But by the way, like for Lindsey Graham, like everybody knows that Lindsey Graham was gay.
Right.
And I don't like, I don't have I really had, and I liked Lindsey Graham when I was a kid, but everybody knew that he was gay.
Right.
But we still kind of like talk about it on like CNN, like, then the only reason it's relevant is because of the fact that they seem to do everything that they possibly can to take out their inability to know and live their true life on everybody else.
So, yeah, talking about Lindsey Graham and the gay mafia out there, I wonder who else is on the list. Don't talk about the Democratic pedophiles over there like children or anything, but we're going to focus on Lindsey Graham and the gay mafia over there. Thoughts?
Well, no, it's just interesting, that he's out there. And again, because this is part of that humiliation tour. Sleepy Joe's too ill and too slow to actually go out there and do what Hunter's doing. Hunter's actually kind of, playing that role for his father. But what we're witnessing here is the future of our republic of a Hunter Biden versus a boss legacy of an Eric or a Don Jr. This is what is kind of ramping up to, or again, going back to not another 4-year election, but I mean, think about the ways that we keep these characters active all the time, whether it's Barack or Bill or Hillary or even Bill Barr on the streets in D.C. the other day. They're everywhere. Like, they're just all over the place. So this is a good thing. Keep talking. We know about that laptop. We know about the showers. And that story's not going away, man.
Where'd you see Mr. Bill Barr, by the way? Give me a date.
He was in D.C. and someone asked him about election fraud and how he, you knew what you knew back then. He's like, go F yourself, turn off the camera. It was like one of those Maury Povich current affair deals.
I need to see that.
I'll drop you the link.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll throw that in the Saturday show for that. But yeah. I mean, it's not like we have any evidence of Lindsey Graham being gay. I mean, walking around Disneyland with the little fairy wand and the little tiara on the top of your head and you're having the time of your life, that's okay, dude. Go for it. I mean, what's gayer than a $3 bill with Lindsey Graham on it?
Coming
That's
soon.
so funny. Oh, that's disgusting. $3 bill.
Making fun of dead.
Queer.
You queer.
Just wanted to throw that one out there.
Corey no, I'm sorry.
No, this is the other guy. He's the military dude. He makes some good comments here.
If I played a drinking game, and every time I heard the word white or white supremacist while watching CNN, watching MSLSD, NBC, or listening to my colleagues on the left talk about white supremacy and white people all day, every day, I would be drunk after an hour and I would die of alcohol poisoning. What are we talking about? This is about protecting every single American, regardless of your race, religion, color, or creed. And I can assure you, as I have said in this room many a day, I've been black for my entire life. I'm not a white supremacist. What I want to do is be safe in my own communities, regardless of what you look like. And that's exactly what my colleague from Texas, Chip Roy, is trying to do here. That's exactly what we have done, secured our borders to ensure that people that have no business in this country harm and arbitrarily murder our children. This is not hard. I thank God every day I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a soldier, just an American. I'm a father, a follower of Christ, and somebody that believes in this great nation and ensuring that we have safety for the future. That's literally all I care about. And that goes for every single red-blooded American, regardless of your race, religion, color, or creed.
Drinking game, anybody? He makes some good points, dude.
Boom. That's like the Chappelle where the blind KKK. We'll play it tomorrow night on Friday Funnies. That's
Yeah, I'll throw that one in there. Notables, other things you want to keep in your head. The Biden administration got rid of 50 to 60 people that were in charge of investigating fraud. That was a new thing that had come out. So that's the easy way to facilitate more fraud. It's just to get rid of the entire department that's supposed to look into any of that stuff there. So, yeah, that's some of the other information that's coming out there that we're finding out. What else do we got? Now, Andrew Tate, he got arrested out in Florida. I'm not going to get too much into it. But what he has done, and if anybody went over and paid attention to, because he got arrested from the UK, the United States arrested him, UK retainer, blah, blah, blah. They were released. They still got the things in Romania for the sex, whatever. But he's also talking about how these different groups are paying these whistleblowers or these victims that are coming out talking about these. And he goes through this entire thing, and I don't think this is the exact one there, but he actually has USAID that's paying the NGO that's funding the lifestyle of the girl that is supposedly saying that he raped her, and after she's testimony, he's got records of her going to a really nice place in France or Italy, and this NGO paid for everything. La Strada, this one.
Wow.
And La Strada got its money from USAID.
Wow.
That's the most interesting thing out of all the other bullshit. I don't care about any of it. It's just some of the funding that's going after Andrew Tate, because this dude's worth $1 billion. And he had to shut the F up for a little while because he was worried that they're going to take him off the planet. Remember when he was talking about that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he had those pizza comms while he was in Romania, like days before he was raided years ago. And he always got busted for the same thing over and over in these foreign nations. But now the money trail is kind of connected.
Yeah. And you remember Ryan, what's his name? The UFC fighter at the time was going through the same issues, and he wanted to talk about the pedophiles and they're eating babies and that whole thought process itself. And he was in that space, and Andrew Tate came in and told him to shut the F up. Remember that?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's some interesting things that if you pay attention to the details, we see stuff is happening there. What else did we got here? Oh, did you guys dig into the COVID stuff with Peter Zanzik, whatever his name in, with the Dr. Fauci buddy?
Did.
Yeah, did you know that the U.S. Border and Custom wanted to kind of arrest him and start asking questions? Did you hear about this?
Yeah, this is juicy, and I wonder why the many emails that we're going to hear about here came up.
Yeah, and the other thing is Ron Paul is on his third endorsement. The last one's underneath the Trump administration for prosecution of Mr. Dr. Fauci there for lying in Congress and all that.
It's a little bit of breaking news. Just a few minutes ago, Senator Rand Paul, chairman of the House Senate Homeland Security Committee, just released documents showing that the Customs and Border Protection Agency wanted to take Peter Daszak, a key figure around Anthony Fauci and the research being done in Wuhan. They wanted to question him on his return back from a trip, but the FBI blocked Customs and Border Patrol from interviewing. They blocked him. That is a major, major revelation. The documents just came out a few minutes ago. We'll have a news alert over at justthenews.com. Be sure to check it out.
So that's under Christopher Wray that was squashed down along with the rest of the election stuff. And Chris Krebs from CISA was, one of the deciding factors to fortify the election there. All with this fake election that we all saw. So again, we're just seeing little pieces come back out, and they were protecting all the right pieces, and the assets were in place, and we got to see none of it till 6 years later.
Very, very interesting. Yeah, it's like, why would they do that, right? Like, hey, we're going to check out this guy. It's like, no. We get all sorts of emails. To be clear, we're not searching this guy. We're not stopping this guy. Get him a pass. Like, no, there's no, complete conspiracy against President Trump and the whole friggin' right side of the world here. Right side of the country.
Just saying. That was Question Eco Hair Alliance President Peter Daszak, who was returning from China through JFK Airport in 2021. So right at the end of Biden's term. The rest of this is all kind of potpourri shit. Comments, anybody?
The comments. I mean, they need to pay for COVID. they need to pay for a lot of things, for the election, for COVID, for the things that they did with the economy, the illegals, and as a result of the illegals, more of the economy. Like, these people need to be made an example of, to the extent that nobody will ever try this again. Hey, remember what happened back in 26, 27, like when all these guys got whatever? Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Nope.
I want something more though, because like I don't want reparations or restitution for them using COVID to steal the election. Like, that's a huge story, but this is bigger. This is eugenics. This is trying to kill us. This is why RFK Jr. is out there with his Maha plan, is to keep us safe, and all this new pharma coming out, Dr. Oz, alternatives that we have for the future. And I'm not saying med beds, but if we want flying cars and going to Mars and moon bases, then yes, advancements in technology. And remember, John G. Trump worked with cancer research back in the day during his time at MIT and whatnot. So we're looking for more. But again, this was eugenics. This is them trying to murder and eliminate us, just like the Georgia Guidestones that were busted a little bit ago. So everything's kind of laying out nicely. And we need more whistleblowers. We need more of it, even though we have it all. Acceleration is what we need.
Well, you got to remember, they also killed a whole bunch of the baby boomer during that side. And that was the whole big chunk of Social Security that they didn't have to pay for.
Yes. And the housing market, they hold on to that stuff.
Exactly. So just to throw that stuff out. Interesting comment coming from the head of CEO of NVIDIA out here.
He's smart. He remembers everything.
He's talking about Trump, by the way.
He's smart. He remembers everything. Goodness gracious, he sure knows numbers. And he's the only president that has ever remembered H20, H200, NVIDIA's Blackwell. He knows our next generation, Rubin. He has just an amazing memory. And we're sitting here in a new factory. On the first time I met him, he said he wants to restore the manufacturing capacity of the United States. He wants the United States to be reindustrialized. He wants a secure and resilient supply chain. He wants to move semiconductor manufacturing back to the United States. Literally, we're sitting in a plant that is a direct result of the first conversation I had with President Trump.
This is in Fort Worth, Texas.
We're in Fort Worth, Texas, and it is. He's single-mindedly about creating jobs. He's single-mindedly about reshaping the American economy and the labor workforce.
So, reindustrializing America. Things he's also told the AI companies as of short, where you will need to support your own cooling. You will no longer be able to build a data center if you're not going to have a closed-loop cooling. You have to supply all your electricity and infrastructure, all of it. And you have to have the entire thing paid up front before we're going to allow you even to break ground. No longer we're going to have these fly-by-night groups that has a whole shitload of money and they're just tying up a spot on the list, waiting to sell it to somebody else. So they're going to streamline a lot of these. So we're going to see some of the AI companies that we've seen big announcement from disappear and never heard from again. And then some others are going to accelerate. An interesting comment coming out of Elon Musk that I haven't got out of my head for about a week. He says, because he keeps talking about that whole retirement thing, you don't need to save money for retirement, all that. You guys remember that conversation, right? He keeps talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You want to work, save. Everything.
He says, what is everybody going to do when my company is worth more than the rest of the planet?
Yeah. Kidnap him.
Because that's coming. And they asked him, what do you think that? He's all 8 to 10 years. That my company will be worth more.
SpaceX and Tesla and everything else and going to the moon. It's,
The way SpaceX is acting right now.
And he's going to do. He's doing 95% of the lift launches to space for the next 10 years.
Yep.
So just interesting things coming around. And then Trump did say today, I think his comment was, I wish I could be president next term because that person is going to have one hell of a presidency as all this stuff comes online.
Hyman's return. Let's go.
So he knows it's coming. He knows it's coming.
Down to 115 per stock. I think it came out at what, 135, 150?
which they all
Yeah,
said it was going to do.
Yeah, it peaked at 165, and that's what the IPOs do. And August 4th, I believe, is the first time that the insiders that first invested early, and a lot of the employees get the chance to sell. So between now and like 90 days, or between the release of the IPO and 90 days plus, is a certain time frame where certain investors get to actually have the ability to sell, and that's why we're seeing a slow little drop. And then once that level kind of settles down, then you see it pick up with the institutional investors and whatnot. But yeah, every IPO, little drop, and then a springboard. But yeah, that's the future. That is. I mean, look at Tesla. That thing is just incredible.
Yeah, it keeps accelerating, and it's only going to get better. Yeah, hold on to it if you got it. What else do we got out here? The last little pieces over here. It was Mr. Mandami's idea here to do rent control apartments, and they're actually thinking about buying entire apartment buildings from slumlords, which didn't want to fix up the building because of the rent restrictions out there that would cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars to try to upgrade one set apartment out there. So they decided to leave it empty and write it as a tax write-off. And he's like, we're going to buy them. And also do rent control, and basically they've got a big giant lawsuit that's coming through. None of that stuff is ever going to happen. And why New York needs to own residential complexes is the dumbest idea I've ever seen, because they need millions and millions of dollars to bring them up to code. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Not in New York.
Wait. He's going to go buy a bunch of apartment buildings, but he can't afford to shovel the snow out of the streets. You got to pay.
Don't get technical.
You got to pay citizens to do that shit. Come on.
Yeah, garbage pickup is only every other week in New York City now.
Is it?
Really?
Oh my god.
Yeah. There's some of the neighborhoods that were complaining about that. My Divy's not picking up my trash. They only come every 2 weeks. I'm getting billed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was quite funny out there in New York. I don't know if it's still that way, but that was there for a while. That was shortly after all the snow, they had problems and they weren't picking up the trash. I would like to reiterate this big giant thing of shadow government. If Mr. Space Shot would like to take a crack at this again, just to make sure we understood what was happening between the FBI and also Microsoft at the same time with the Chinese hacks and all that.
Certainly. Hans Manchke. This whole Nikki Flores scandal is so completely beyond the pale. Not just because what she did, but maybe even more because not one single corporate media outlet other than the New York Post has done a single report on it. Search for yourself. There's nothing there. So here we have the chief of the intelligence division of the FBI's Washington field office, a former deputy assistant director of counterintelligence, and the FBI's election security lead for the 2020 presidential election. We have her not only shutting down the Hunter Biden investigation by falsely claiming that Ukrainian whistleblower Andrei Telizhenko was a Russian agent, but also admitting that she was running a, quote, shadow government by her own email, meaning a government operating outside the authority of the one led by President Donald Trump, the actual president. And the media is completely silent. That alone should disqualify them from expectation of trust, access, or credibility when it comes to interviews, interaction with the Trump administration, or any role as an independent check on power. They have demonstrated that they're not acting as the media in any normal sense of the word, but rather as an institution protecting false narratives and suppressing information that the public has a right to know. They need to start switching up these SEC licenses, Hulk. News and then entertainment news. You want news over here, and then you can have like TMZ type of style of news over here. We know you're lying to us. We know it's like entertainment. Over here, news has to be truthful if you want that license.
Yeah, so yeah, when did she know? When did she know it? This is all Director Ray and the whole group over there, Raise a Light and all those things. So I just find they're a well-oiled, organized machine. I got to get a hat tip to these guys because this person's over at Microsoft cleaning up the whole fortification with the solar winds hack from China, and she covered all that stuff up too. No, China wasn't here. They didn't hack her back end and then hack every Fortune 500 company on the planet. No, they didn't do that. But we got evidence that they did.
Fox News covered it, I guess, right? Oh, New York Post. How about Fox News? I wonder if they didn't. They had to have. I hope.
So, no, I haven't seen it. This was from the 22nd out here. Quick thank yous out there for Philly Q out there for dropping the one subscription out there, and then a $10 Rumble rant. Be careful on this. Street Monkey says, hey, buddy, are you willing and very much willing to give your children away to the Jew way of life? Well, that's what the government just did. Well, again, what other system are you going to go with? Tell me another system better than what the Democrats are being us, and I'm not agreeing with any way you said about Jew or Israel or any of those
Jew
things.
way of life.
I'm not qualifying the answer there. But come up with an alternative if you got one, sir. If you think that the administration is controlled by Israel and Trump's a Mossad puppet or whatever it is you're getting to, that's entirely up to you and your opinion itself. But again, I don't see any evidence for it other than conjecture. We do have issues in the administration we will point out, like the whole Epstein release and those types of things. Yeah, I get that, but there's a lot more to it.
Somebody's not following along very tightly, apparently, if they think we're
But they never have any sauce, though. Like, give me that 5 minute, give me that 3 minute video that proves that Donald Trump is a slave of Israel. Let me just bring it. I mean, there's nothing there. They can't get creative enough. They have a few memes, I get it, but there's nothing. There's no sauce. And
there's been a shitload of evidence over the last 20, 30 years, all pointing fingers at Israel. I just find it interesting. Just now, some people are always saying it's Trump's spot. Well, they've been always doing this with our government because the whole 9/11 thing. We're gonna go attack 7 nations in the next 5 years. Why? Because Netanyahu came down and told us that we need to go do it.
Mm-hmm.
So expand your thinking a little bit outside your box, sir. Thank you very much for the.
And that's why it takes time. Like we can't just shut it down. I mean, there's several drops that specifically say that we wouldn't have countries, we wouldn't have any sort of government, which is some of us might root for that, but again, total destruction. So this is that slow little drip, and eventually, again, this is why it's taking 12 plus years. And the not another 4-year election. We actually got 4 out of it, 3 terms. So a little bit more patience, and I think we're going to be satisfied. I think we'll be okay.
And nobody wants to talk about the Iranians that are running the White House underneath the Biden administration. Oh, yeah. You guys forgot all about that? And Israel all at the same time? All running Biden's White House? And now we're concerned about Trump?
Who wasn't right? Everyone had a role. Yeah.
You just have to go look.
It's funny.
Keep your friends close, your enemies closer.
He says, go kiss the effing wall. Goddamn presidents are actually. You can kick out as many $10 Rumble rants as you want.
Keep them coming.
You were entitled to your own opinion on those things. And again, I am not going to qualify that Trump is a puppet or of any particular nation here at this point. Do I like some of the decisions that he is doing with Israel? Hell no. I'll tell you that right up front. There's a bunch of list of things that I don't like. But again, the stuff we see 6 to 9 months later seems to qualify some of the pieces that we are watching. Nothing is actually absolute. And until we get to the end of 2028, where Mr. Trump's going to walk out of office, I'll make my decision then of whether I think he was a good president or not.
Hey, I got a quote for you, Hulk. Who said this, and who was he talking about? You're fucking crazy. You're fucking crazy. Yeah. Wait, that was who? President Trump saying that to who?
Yelling at Netanyahu.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and not shaking his hand on stage, walking away from him a couple of times. Like, somebody needs to do a little bit. And again, I can't even qualify that dude's alive right now. Like, let's not even go down that road. That could be another half hour. 6-finger Freddy
at the coffee shop.
6-finger Freddy. Hulk, I sent you a little message as well.
Comes out and says that he doesn't, Bibi's not going to be arrested, blah, blah, blah. Again, drawing attention. This is a longer stretched out plan. And remember, this is thousands of years of bloodlines we're up against. It's not easy.
Well, the other thing is to let those progressives from Mondamis win. That's the other side of that. You could take out Israel and he's going to arrest Netanyahu, send him to jail and screw up that whole deal. I mean, some of us might agree with that, but in the end, do we want the socialists to take the lead on these types of things? I don't think so. They are trying to, and I think a lot of the people in the United States are seeing a lot of these issues. And even we've seen our military call out things that Israel are doing. So that we are 100% supporting of Israel? Hell no. Hell no. We got our own opponents. But we appreciate the new listeners to the show. He's got another $10 Rumble rant out here. We're not getting mad at you whatsoever. It just proves that you haven't listened to my show. And you are a new listener within a year or so. So thank you, Steel Monkey, for paying attention.
Though.
Yeah.
It is good conversation. It is good to have these in betweens and whatnot. And this is the concern of a lot of Republicans. So I mean, it's not too far off. So this is something that we, again, pay attention to. It's popular. It's very popular out there. It is.
Some people are saying a black pill or whatever. It's information. It's opinion. I'm not going to discredit what his particular opinion of the situation is at. I'm totally okay with people having their own opinions itself. It's just the short-sightedness of keeping it in one direction and not looking at the bigger picture that this has been around for a very, very long time.
Yep. And you got the whole
Trump ain't the first president that's been so supposedly swayed by Israel. Put it that way.
Supposedly. Oh, yeah. And also, too, I love that New York Times article, I think it was, where they talked about how, Bibi went into the Situation Room with Trump and talked him into going into the war with Israel. I'm like...
Iran.
Sorry, with Iran. And like, when in the history have we ever heard anybody talking about, like, the president's mixing with Israel? Like, nobody's like, oh, wait, they're doing this. And it's like, yes, this is a big exposure op, in my opinion, how they did that. I mean,
that part could be true. I mean, Israel got us to go after 7 nations in 5 years. I'm just saying, I haven't seen full evidence. Anything you could possibly think is a possibility itself. You just got to use discernment and see where the truth lies. Because there's a lot of stuff that we haven't been told yet.
Why are you going to war there? I don't know. They just told us. General Wesley Clark, I think that was.
Yeah. What else did we get out here for leaks? Secret Service agent assigned to Vice President Vance leaked sensitive security information to an undercover journalist, which was James O'Keefe. They evidently removed him from supporting JD's Vance, and they're going under an investigation to see what was going on with that. So that stuff's still going on. We still see leaks all over the place. We got key people that are controlling agencies, but there's still a crap load of people over there that I'm going to call opposition that are still there throwing stories out, throwing out leaks that are getting caught here at this point. So we're still probably got another year or so of this before any of this is going to go away.
Resistors are strong. And by the way, the other guy that who works in the Pentagon, who said essentially the same stuff we've been hearing, like, I'll just wait till Trump leaves and I'll undo all the stuff he's done. Yeah, he's on administrative leave.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it kind of come to a head. And a lot of things that even Dan Bongino has said that he knows what he started, and as these things move through the systems, you're starting to see the results of those things. The election stuff was one of the things they had talked about. They brought in John Solomon to help decipher the correct information, and we still continue to see disclosures come out from there. So there's a lot of positive things I'm seeing, but am I always 100% happy with everything that Trump does? No, I can't. I can say that right off the bat. But I'm going to discredit him that he's a bad president? Hell no. We still got a long way to go for that. I ain't jumping on that bandwagon.
No, he's fighting, and clearly he's getting a lot of opposition. And then so to the point of, if he was doing everything that they would want him to be doing, he wouldn't be getting the pushback that he's getting. So just all you got to do is look around and say, oh, wait, are they still not reporting on the good things he's doing? They're still not reporting on the things that he's exposing? Okay, then he's doing the right thing for us.
And I will say that, AIPAC and Mossad, obviously controls a lot of our Congress, more than 90%. I guarantee it. They're all taking the lobby of money from them. And everybody has an AIPAC guy that lives in their district. So when they go to vote, I have to go check with my AIPAC guy because he lives in the district and he can talk to them because it's all legal. They're constituent, all those sort of things. So we know Israel does have a control over our government. This ain't nothing new. But thank you for participating and bringing your opinion forward. We appreciate those things. Comments from anybody else? Things you want to throw
now
out?
he's in my chat. He says you suck at GTA. Is that true? Are you not good at grand stuff? I'm just
Dude, I'm fine. I'm old. I hope he gave you another $10 over there.
No, that was worth
Busted
$1. Dow Joe set me up with that. It was just a joke. Dow Joe in the chat's like, tell Hulk that the monkey dude's in your chat, and he's saying that Hulk sucks at GTA. That's funny. That's good.
He's saying one more. If we got a $50 one, I think that is. I can't read the number on the front. It says, I'm from Arkansas, and I've seen people hanged where they effing extension cord and then shot with a shotgun. It's not there. Oh, you mean the one that Clinton hung the guy Mark Cross from the electrical cord in the tree and then shot himself twice with a shotgun in the chest and then found the shotgun over in the vehicle? We know that stuff exists. This ain't nothing new.
Wasn't that around the time that another one happened where the person like wrapped themselves to a tree with like electrical wire and shot themselves? Or wait, there was another one where the lady shot herself and then wrapped herself in a what was it, a carpet, and then put herself in the living room. I think those were around the same time with the one that he's talking about.
I don't know about that, but I'm just talking the one that's association with the Clinton stuff. But
evil. They is evil. They is evil for sure. So Hulk, while you are doing your thank yous over there, I'm gonna go do my little switcheroo the deal, and then I'll raid over to you.
Raid me?
We'll see what happens. All right. So I'm gonna be
Yeah, that
muting.
would be
Hulk's gonna be
greatly
saying some
appreciated.
thank yous, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, and then we'll.
I have to even when I do this, I can still hear Hulk because I have these very loud headphones. So we're just going to do a little Rumble wallet, and then we're out of here for the evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be doing an outro over there on the Hulkinator side of things. So if you guys allow me about 45 seconds, I would greatly appreciate it. And actually, all right, guys and girls, we hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part that most people miss. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your own money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks, so instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers, or limiting access, you're the one in control. And if you ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you felt that problem too. Now fast forward to today. Everybody's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels complicated. And that's exactly why I use Rumble Wallet. It takes all that complexity and makes it simple. Choose what you want. Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, or even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your credit card, debit card, or bank and be up and running in minutes. And once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like me directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code, click the link in the description box, and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you're in the game. And in just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some. Boom. And thank you to my brother Matrix Codebreaker for raiding us just a short while ago. Appreciate that, my man. And Mr. MacGyver for dropping the $2 super chat on YouTube. Said, good evening, Patriots. And Real Chris Cockrell had gifted out 5 subscriptions to the channel. I greatly appreciate you as well over here, guys. So I am going to end my stream, but I'm going to raid you guys into Hulk, and I hope to see you guys over there because I will be there waiting for you. So please don't hang up. Just follow the crowd over to Mr. Hulkinator's side, guys, and I will see you over there in 1 second. This is in order to help out Mr. Hulkinator. So I do appreciate each and every last one of you wonderful world patriots out there for tuning in. Thank you to the mods, and until that next one, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Peace. Let's see. Thanks for watching.